Being played between the two defensive 50-metre arcs, with both teams' delivery inside 50 a little bit indiscriminate at the moment. Just need to take a couple of minutes just to settle themselves and just hit up that target rather than just bombing away indiscriminately.
Players diving in. It's hard to get a clean disposal out here. You know, Frosty, from a caller's perspective, I guess I'm appreciating at this stage, but there doesn't seem to be that manic pressure you expect at the start of a game on the guy with the ball. And so it's quite open and free-flowing, even though there's no score on the board so far, just in general play. Doesn't seem to be that real intense pressure that you expect at the start of a game.
No, you're dead right there, Brad. Both teams finding space, and they're doing that through the switch. They're able to switch the ball out to cross the ground at will, and that's creating that space. It's just that delivery inside 50s letting both sides down at the moment.
Handball was shot out then by McGilvray-Smith to Moore. Jess Moore has a bounce. Goes onto that left side again that he's usually pretty effective, but on this occasion I think he didn't really have much to kick to, and the boundary line was looking like a good option.
I think we're going to see a lot of rotations throughout the day as both sides look to try and run the ball through the midfield.
Boundary throw in once more. Smith against Elkosovic. McGilvray-Smith worked his way through the traffic. The kick, though, was a poor one. Mark was dropped there at half-back by Gold. Fed the handball back. They're under pressure here, the Lions. McLean swoops on the footy, gets a high one, and he'll receive the free kick, but the advantage is paid the way of Jack Martin.
And the kick went out wide, and Jack Shalakis was up to the challenge, so he pulled down a good mark. So across the half-back line for Doncaster East, looking for the switch, and it's a nice-looking kick too. Simon White takes it across the half-back line, has a bit of space as well, spears a pass low, nicely chopped off there by Searle. Now it's McInerney for Bayswater on the left boot, sends the ball up towards the 50-metre arc. It's a 4-on-1 situation here, and there's a free kick paid to Bayswater, which was certainly not necessary. Joel Galvin, an experienced player, worked that beautifully and then kicked it absolutely horribly out of bounds on the full in the forward pocket. Chance for the Lions to bring the ball back in now. Short passes on. It's been taken there by McLean. He's very deep in defence here. Gets it over to Martin. They're just poking it around. Batsanis takes the mark. Switches it in towards the middle. That's a good-looking kick too. Dan Gordon, great to see him back in the side. Got the handball away, but absolutely crunch Cod Miller. He was off to the races, but Galvin tackled him, brought him down, and then absolutely let him know about it. And then handing it back, Tom Appleby just tried to throw it in the knackers of Galvin. The umpire was right there, 25-metre penalty. And well, Joel Galvin will probably go back and put this right through the middle.
He used every bit of experience he had there, Joel Galvin, to milk that free kick for all it was worth, drew the extra 25-metre penalty, which probably puts him within range now. So that's just experience from a player that's been around for a long, long time.
Well, he's the club favourite. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Drop pump, go for a goal, straight over the goal umpire's head. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Well, it took 8.5 minutes to get a score on the board, and it is Bayswater, the home side, leading this game. 1 straight 6. Doncaster East yet to score.
I thought he was quite lucky actually not to have it reversed, Joel Galvin, in that instance, the way that he was remonstrating with his opponent on the ground, and it was only, as BWS said, because Appleby didn't throw the ball back to him correctly on the full. He got that 25-metre penalty, but prior to that, he was almost risking having the free kick reversed.
He treads a pretty fine line, Joel Galvin. He knows the boundary and the line doesn't overstep it that way. I mean, he's a favourite of the umpires, a former best and fairest medal winner, so sort of knows exactly the line he can cross without actually overstepping it.
Yeah, did it well on that occasion, and certainly made up for the kick a few moments before where he put it out on the full by splitting the middle on that one.
Let's cross down boundary side to Dan Sensic.
It's actually Brett here, boys. We'll certainly find out who's had the better pre-season this afternoon, because it's 24 degrees down here. It is very warm, and I think once we get into the last quarter, it's going to be very telling, the conditions.
Left foot kick out of the middle, out towards Cunningham. Used his body well and his experience. Tumbled the kick, but Ayubi intercepted it. Got it to Whitling. Summers launches it forward. Real floating kick, though. It was a poor one. Completely mistimed the kick. And it was marked back there by Aaron Hoare. Hoare went short with McLeod now. Cam McLeod, experienced Bayswater player now for many seasons. Through the middle, the Lions will charge forward again. Locke had a fit at the fumbles then, gave it to Ceravolo. Gee, they made a real mess of that, the Lions going forward, just very untidy. Quick kick by Van Ruin, launches it long to half forward and fisted over the boundary line there by Sam Gold decisively, which is where we cross down to now with Dan Sensi.
Yeah, gents, a whole new look for the umpires today, of course, rolling out the green kits, all thanks to Car Sales, who came on board as a major partner of the Eastern Football League this week.
And Doncaster East really in the opening 10 minutes have really butchered the ball going into their forward 50. They've made plenty of mistakes.
Well, just still waiting for the football. I think it might be stuck under a car tyre at the moment, so we've got a few people trying to help out the situation. No young kids around that can easily slip under and pop it out. So it's about 75 metres out from the Bayswater goal line. Of course, EFL Game Day is brought to you by 98.1 Radio Eastern, and we stream around the globe live on EFL.org.au. If you're around the grounds today, there's plenty of great games as you go local for your football. Keep us updated. Who's kicking the goals? What are the scores? On Twitter, @FootyEFL is the place to let everybody in the best competition in the land know what is going on. Ball's back on the field, which is always a bonus. Pyer throws it back in now. In the front spot there was Schuth. Little handball there by McLean, got it away, and now that was worked out well for Lucas, who scrambled a kick into the middle of the ground. At the back, got the knockdown. There was Cunningham, and he had support too. Bayswater going forward now. The kick goes into the hot spot. It comes out Van Ruin. He got rid of the football just in the nick of time. Well done there by Lucas on the right boot. Once again, just banged it away. So that's 2 kicks in a row. Not really looking for a target, but doing the right thing. Ayubi on the right boot sends the ball long. He's looking for Pavic and Stantonau, who had the front spot. Hoare was at the back there. Doncaster East have the numbers, popped it out wide, and Tom Gordon takes the mark about 45 metres out from goal. And it was
that was well done by Ceravolo there. Lowered his eyes and looked left and right and saw Tommy Gordon on a nice lead and open.
Let's cross to Barry Cotts with the score centre.
Yeah, Division 1, South Croydon 4-3-27 to Doncaster 2-1-13, and Knox and Baldwin 1-1-7 apiece.
So Gordon looking to square the ledger here. Bayswater lead by 6 points. Leans over the football, started at left. That's a beautiful kick off the boot. Distance was never a problem, nor was the accuracy, and it is all square out here. 13 minutes tick over in the first term of EFL Game Days. Division 2 football at its best today. 2 rivals, and it's all square. 1 straight goal 6.
It's an interesting move, Brash, with Paul McCormack starting Wayne McInerney as a loose man across half-back, and where he's made his name as a renowned forward in Division 2 and a Team of the Year player in that position. And it's just a really one. It's an interesting one, and I'm not sure the thinking there. I was always thinking it's time for him to swing him forward and try and create something. You've probably caught Donny East off guard a little bit by it early, but they would have adjusted to that now.
Well, Dan Gordon's gone into the ruck for Doncaster East, and he won that tap out of the middle.
Nice,
chain of handballs.
nice.
That was good footy from the Waters. The kick from McGilvray. Smith looking for Galvin there. Just landed at his bootstraps, but it was a good recovery from Joel Galvin. Throws it on the boot, but the mark's safely taken back there by Appleby for the Lions.
And he's played on and gone through the points.
Yeah, exactly that. He's played on through the goals. He wanted to arc onto that left foot, and as by doing so, he ran off his mark. And it's amazing how players still get caught out with that, as McLean brings the ball back into Simon White. White's long kick to the wing position. Fisted away there by Hoare, who's doing a good job down back for Bayswater in this first quarter, reading the play well and intercepting a number of forays forward.
So true centre wing position here, right in front of us on the grandstand side in the broadcast position. Thank you very much for handing it over and making it a little bit easier for me, Brad. As it comes down. Fell short. It was knocked away by Appleby, but now they can ruffle it. McLeod went to O'Reilly, and then it went back to McLeod on the left boot. Goes inside forward 50. It just looks like Doncaster East are playing an extra player down there. Maybe the special comments can chime in on that one. They seem to have the numbers. Simon White, who's been very dominant early, he's getting a lot of positions, kicked it up towards Gordon, who takes the mark, just pops it up towards the half-forward line. Here's Lee Murphy. Isn't it great to see him back in the Doncaster East colours? Drives the ball inside forward 50. Stephen comes out and he had to attack it strongly, and he did, Mika, and he pulls in a good mark, and he'll have a shot for goal 45 metres out, 45-degree angle.
I think the reason why Doncaster East have got that loose man is because Bayswater are playing Wayne McInerney loose in the back line as well. So I think it's working well for both sides at the moment, but who's going to pull the pin on it if it doesn't first?
Best in the business, Wayne Brasher, special comments this afternoon as Mika Stephen comes in now. It's an awkward approach, but it does not matter because it goes straight over the goal umpire's head. He did not move. Doncaster East hit the front for the first time this afternoon. They've kicked straight 2 goals, 12 to 117. Let's cross down boundary side.
Thanks, Ben. Both sides ringing in the changes aplenty in this first quarter. Of course, a lot to do with the conditions, as Brash mentioned before. But one of the duo that's been changing up pretty regularly, Elskovic, has been coming on in place of Schuth. So the two big men interchanging there.
It's interesting with that loose man, Brash. Early on, it was Brock McLean that Donny East were able to isolate as the loose man in defence. Got a lot of it early in the first 5 or 6 minutes. They've now swapped it around. Simon White's that man now, and as the bigger player with marking power as well. It's probably Donny East that's probably getting the advantage from that at the moment.
5-point lead at this stage to Doncaster East. Strong tackle applied there. It was good footy from the Lions, forcing a ball up. Tackle there by Jake Whitling.
They do seem to be getting it out of the middle early quite well, Bayswater, though, Brash.
They do, but they are.
Umpire throws it up. Papa Constanza now. Quick kick came out of the pack. Little handball to Shalakis. Uses some good footwork then by Jack Shalakis. Finds Batsanis on the wing. Nick Batsanis goes short. His pass is effective. He's got it to Papa Constanza now. Short pass was good as well. Found Smith, the big ruckman for Doncaster East. Sweeping handball. It was a poor one. Not sure what he was trying to do then. McInerney gets another easy kick across half-back. He's playing that role quite well, Wayne McInerney, in this first quarter, but you do wonder if it's really robbing them down at the other end of the ground. Kick to half forward. Callanan got involved. Ball on the deck. Shalakis paddled it out. Little handball from Cod Miller. Taking possession was Shalakis, showed his pace, gave off the handball. Little quick kick to Whitling, and Whitling kicks it onto the wing position where he finds Batsanis once more, who comes in board to Martin. Martin does well. Concedes some ground with the kick to Ceravolo. Finds him though. Ceravolo in a lot of open space. Handball to McLean. McLean shot a handball out to Cod Miller, and Cod Miller just didn't steady then. Didn't gather himself, and as a result put the kick out of bounds on the full. Let's cross to Barry Cotts at the score centre.
Yeah, Division 3, Heathmont 3-3-21 to Warrandyte, no score. In Division 2, it's Mirralbark 1-8 leading Upper Finchley Gully 2 behinds 2 points, and Lilydale lead 2-1-13 to Mitcham, no score.
And it's a 5-point lead to Doncaster East out here at Bayswater Oval. The main flyer there was Jackie Callan, and what a star he is. Eyes only for the football. Went up basically unattended there, and then you give a guy a rap and he slopped it right up there, but Jess Moore on the left, he was able to be equal to the task, floated the ball over the top. Van Ruin was there. This has worked out okay here for Bayswater. O'Reilly now on the left boot, goes inside forward 50. There was nobody home there. Simon White once again is there to mop up the pieces for Doncaster East. His kick was scrappy as well out of that danger zone. He was looking for Batsanis, who's basically owning that half back line out there at the moment for Doncaster East. Brought to ground by Van Ruin, and we will have a bounce 75 metres out from the Bayswater goal line. 98.1 Radio Eastern. It's a 5-point margin out here today. Nicely knocked down there. His coat inside forward 50. Goes all the way, you little beauty. And that's the second major on the board for the Bayswater Football Club, and they regain the lead out here by one solitary point.
Aaron Cott there, a lovely kick from just outside the 50. Part of the reason BWS that there was no one there in the Bayswater forward 50 was Jack Cullen that had pushed up the ground to take the mark, and then didn't have enough time to get back down there to pick up Simon to run or take Simon White.
Well, it's a tight ball game at this stage. Just 1 point, the deficit. Bayswater leading 2-1-13. Doncaster East to 2 goals. Coming up to time on, approaching time on. Nearly 20 minutes elapsed in this first quarter as Galvin takes it out of the middle. Gave off the handball. The Waters go forward. Kick into open space. That's Gold there, paddling the ball to the boundary line. And wasn't much else he could do on that occasion. So it will be a boundary throw in. Goal so far for Bayswater, kicked by Joel Galvin and Aaron Cott. And for Doncaster East, Tom Gordon and Michael Stephen have kicked their 2 goals. That was a very shallow throw in. Ruckman weren't really ready for it. Paddled along the deck there. That was Eddie trying to win the footy, wearing the helmet today. Lucas got to his feet but couldn't quite get a clean possession away. Searle throws it on the boot, puts it to the top of the square. Callanan tries to get boot to ball, but there was...
kicking in danger, I think, is going to be awarded here.
Which is pretty harsh because he's tried to kick the ball out in mid-air, and I mean, it wasn't, I don't think it was a conscious attempt to kick in danger, but the free kick has been paid at the way of the Lions. The kick to Shalakis there, Galvin put his body in the position. He's conceded a free kick and he's arguing with the umpire about it. A free kick there against Joel Galvin, and it will go to Jack Shalakis, who's been very lively in this first quarter. 3 goals last week, Shalakis, so he's in some handy form at the moment. Gordon's kick into open space, and again, just a bit of a mistimed kick from Tom Gordon. Finds the boundary line.
He'll probably blame his brother on that one. It was Dan coming out. Barry Cott, Brash around the grounds with the score centre.
Yes, got a quarter-time score in Division 3. Templestowe 3-2-20, Donvale 2 goals straight, 12 points, quarter-time.
Another 2 Blakes. I reckon the Applebys have added some real grunt into that midfield rotation for Doncaster East.
Well, it's forward for them now. Whitling just banged it on his boot inside forward 50. Batsanis had the back spot. Cunningham in the front. Did very well, held his ground, and he'll switch it out towards the Ben White direction. Jess Moore was there also. Barging the way through there was White, got the handball away, it comes in. Little handball over the top there by Lucas, still alive. Batsanis squares the ball up. Lock with the fly, he was at the back, he's at ground level as well. He had Summers there in the front spot. Little snap up in the air, this is not going to go the required distance. Who's going to be at the fall of the ball? Lee Murphy around the body, bouncing football. Pushed it to the right-hand side and through for a minor score. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 22.5 minutes into the first term here on EFL Game Day Division 2 at its best. And it is all locked and loaded, Brad Henderson.
And now McInerney doing the kicking in duties as well for Bayswater, so different role for him this afternoon, that's for sure. Ball in the back pocket, comes back to McInerney, right on the last line of defence. He's boxed in there by Gordon, manning the mark. Forced to go short once more. Kick out towards half-back. Scores level here at Bayswater Oval. Kick to the wing position, intercepted there by Martin. Martin throws it on the boot. Must have just gone over the boundary line, in fact, so a throw in.
Well, both sides have had plenty of opportunities and lots of forward 50s to improve their scoring, and 2-1-13 apiece. It's a bit of an arm wrestle.
And you get the sense it's going to be like that for a lot of the day, Brash.
I do. I think the back lines, it's going to be a really key. That half back line for mine is going to be where the game's going to be won this afternoon.
And both sides, though, have been hurt by missing targets,
yes.
Often under not a lot of pressure. So that's an area to improve on for sure. That was O'Reilly who got a quick fist to it, booted out of the pack, but it's marked nicely there by McInerney, who's certainly reading the play well down in defence. Goes short now, gets it to Jess Moore, who's also had a big first quarter. Moore's kick up towards the wing position. Chance there for White, but he couldn't quite keep the ball in play, Ben White.
I think both coaches will allow that loose man on the back line until it comes a time where either one of those loose men starts creating damage further up the field with delivery.
Smith took front position there against Schuth. Quick kick came out of the pack for the Waters to half forward. Players contest, thrown on the boot then. Quick kick came away from Velardo. Velado's kick tumbles
set up
towards the
nicely.
line, and it did really well then. Eddie kicks the goal, slams into the goalpost, and then just checks to make sure that his opponent, Jack Martin, is okay, because both players then hit the goalpost pretty hard. But Dave Eddie gets the desired result. A goal on the board for Bayswater, and they lead by 6 points.
He's been all right for the Bayswater so far, Eddie. He's provided a real contest at ground level, and I've been quite impressed with his intensity that's been brought to that forward line in the absence of Wayne McInerney playing in that loose man across defence.
Interesting there, 3 Bayswater players went up in the contest, yet they still come out with the ball.
A couple of goals now kicked by Bayswater with a quick kick in outside 50 with an open forward line. So obviously a ploy that's been...
McCormick's paddock.
Yeah, it's almost like that, isn't it, at the moment? And they are doing it well. They lead this game by 1 straight kick. Probably not too much longer to go in this first term as the rucks do go at it. Once again, the clearance goes to the Bayswater Football Club. That was McLeod that time. Bouncing football. Lowther, mate, was able to mop it up. Now they go up towards the wing position here. Doncaster East, Batsanis. Handball over the top. Here's Appleby. Short passes on. That's better football. Fantastic stuff. And leading out was Jakey Summers. Maybe too far out to score. He popped it up. It was dangerous, but Lee Murphy made position. The Doncaster East legend, and he'll go back and he'll kick from 40, which in these days, the twilight years of champions, certainly is not beyond him.
That's Lee Murphy at his best, being able to find yardage.
Wasting no time either, but definitely pushed it to the
Kicked
left-hand
out
side.
in the
That kick, unfortunately, is not Lee Murphy at his best.
No,
And,
not that on that occasion.
A helicopter punted out of bounds on the full, but it was probably one of the better, cleaner plays of the day so far in this first term. As the driving kick goes out, Callanan was the flyer, couldn't pull the mark down. Doncaster East half forwards just holding it in there. Aaron Coate, goal scorer already in this term, was not letting the ball get away from him. Gordon got the knockdown. Here's Stephen in there. James Locke somehow got booted ball inside forward 50. It goes, knocked away. Little handball over the top there by Saravolo. That got knocked out and knocked away from him, and now Coate goes after it again. Almost could have been legged there. The umpire said play on. Handball comes out to Moore. Had a lot of the football. Switches it out wide. Ben White now for Bayswater. Takes the mark across the half back line, and he knows he's got some space. There was no one on the man of the mark, and then he used the handball. Interesting ploy. And it comes back to Moore now from McLeod, who just kicks it up towards the wing position. And, well, you can always, if you know the ball's going to be in the arms of Jess Moore, Brad. Bellardo now up towards the half forward line, and White is still taking off now, but Bayswater kicks it inside forward 50. Oh, they were running after him. Here's Brock McLean though for the Lions to mop up, kick the ball into the middle of the ground. It was a dangerous one as well. There's a lot of players around this football. Charging through was Dan Gordon. Little knock on here to Jake Whitling, kicks the ball inside forward 50. He was looking for Summers right on his hammer, his kiddo. Summers somehow got boot to ball, but he was pushed at the right time. It was good play there by the Bayswater backs. It was end-to-end football. It's fast, and out of bounds she goes 25 metres out from the Doncaster East scoreline.
Steve Buckle wouldn't have liked seeing Craig O'Reilly 10 metres in front of his opponent running into open space with the ball happening.
Barry Cott's around the grounds with the score centre.
Yeah, got a timeout at Vermont. North Ringwood 4 goals straight, 24, leading Vermont 3-3-21.
Gordon won the tap down, and the siren sounds. It was looking dangerous then. It was deep in the Doncaster East forward line, but Bayswater then on that occasion saved by the bell. Bayswater 3-1-19, Doncaster East 2-1-13. A 6-point lead to the Waters at quarter time on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Hope you're enjoying the broadcast at 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe, efl.org.au. If you're out and about around the grounds this afternoon, there's another 19 great games as you go local for your football, because we've got a couple of night games later on this afternoon. Keep us up to date at Footy EFL. It's Bayswater, the home side, leading by 1 straight kick. It's all single goal kickers out here, and we can't wait for the next 30 minutes of football, and I'm sure you can't either. We'll go back to our studios, have some messages, and we'll be back to bringing you the coach's comments and the second term.
AU, Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Never miss out on the latest information on the Eastern Football League through the league's social media channels. Live updates, information and scores through the league's Twitter account. The latest news and views on Facebook. Don't miss EFL Game Day or the Match Footage Hub on YouTube. And all those happy snaps on the league's Instagram account. Simply search Footy EFL. Never miss out on the latest information on the Eastern Football League through the league's social media channels. Live updates, information and scores through the league's Twitter account.
G'day, Billy Brownless here from The Footy Show. KFC Almost Footy Legends is back in 2018 and we're searching for the best highlights from local footy. Head to 9now.com.au/AFL Footy Show and upload your entry for a chance to win $35,000 cash plus a year's supply of KFC.
Program sponsor.
Something nice that I have done for someone, I have bought a meal for a homeless person.
I always offer to pick people up from the airport.
I went out with a friend last night. Just being there and listening to what she was going through, I think made all the difference.
I'll write like a little note and put it in the mail. Might just be like, hi, I'm thinking of you.
I took my girlfriend to dinner last week. That's pretty notable for me.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, they know that every life is unique and they think that every celebration should be too. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's quarter time here in the big clash between Bayswater and Doncaster East, and it's the home side. Bayswater leading by 7 points. Bayswater 3-1-19, leading Doncaster East 2 goals, 1-13. Goal kickers for Bayswater, Joel Galvin, Aaron Cott and David Eddy, whilst for Doncaster East, Thomas Gordon and Michael Stephen, all single goal kickers. And Peter Baird, an interesting first quarter there. Both sides had their opportunities to probably be further in front, but the ball movement into each respective opposition's forward line lacked a bit, didn't it?
It did, and I think that's a product of having that loose man in defence. And Donny East probably looked a bit more composed when they were moving the ball forward, but Baysy were able to compensate a little bit, adjust their game style and try and kick it over that loose man with a quick kick into their forward line, almost run back with the flight of the ball. So two contrasting styles of how they're going to cope with and adapt to both teams wanting to maintain that loose man in defence.
Do both sides, can both sides afford to go the 4 quarters with a loose man in defence, Pete?
Well, it's interesting because neither coach seems to want to relent on it. So it's almost a cat and mouse game as to who pulls the trigger first. And I know one interesting thing I saw at quarter time then as they came on, both teams got into their huddles. Tom Gordon limping off the ground for Doncaster East. So Brett Beston out there with the Doncaster East huddle might be able to find out for us what the go is there with Tom Gordon. He appears to have some sort of an injury. He's in the rooms at the moment getting some treatment.
Paul McCormick alluded to the fact that the rucks were going to play a big part. How do you see the ruck duel so far?
I don't think neither team's had an influence through the ruck there. It seems that though Bayswater want to try and spread the ball out wider. Doncaster East are quite happy to have the ball in dispute around contests. But then once they get the ball in hand, Doncaster East seem to be able to move the ball a little bit better.
Barry Cotts, any more quarter-time scores that you can shed our listeners on?
It certainly can. Let's start with Division 1. South Croydon 7-3-45, 7-3-45, Doncaster 4-1-25. North Ringwood 4 goals straight, 24, lead Vermont 3-3-21. Roeville 4-2-26, lead Blackburn 2-3-15. And Bullwyn 4-3-27, lead Knox 2-2-14. The Division 2, Bayswater and Doncaster here, our radio game, just repeating that score. Bayswater 3-1-19, Doncaster is 2-1-13, Murrelbach and Upper Ferntree Gully 3-2-20 to Murrelbach 1-3-9. Lilydale 3-5-23 to Mitcham 2 behind 2 points. In Division 3, Ringwood 2-3-15 to Waverley Blues 1-3-9. Churnside Park and South Belgrave 4-6-30 to Churnside Park 2-2-14. Heathmont 4-3-27 to Warrandyte 1-1-7. Templestowe 3-2-20 lead Donvale 2 goals straight, 12 points. In Division 4, Forest Hill and Glen Waverley Hawks. Forest Hill 3-2-20 to Glen Waverley Hawks, 7 behind, 7 points. Surrey Park, Whitehorse Pioneers 3-3-21 to Surrey Park 1-3-9. And Sylvan and Coldstream, Sylvan 5 goals straight, 30 lead Coldstream 3-3-21.
Boundary side, Dan Sensi.
Yeah, thanks, Wayne. Down here with Bayswater coach Paul McCormack. Paul, the main message at quarter time, lateral and low. Talk us through the message.
Oh, well, look, they're taller and they've obviously got some height down back. And we've got Jack Callan and we want to try and isolate him if we can, but mainly we just want to lower our eyes, not try and bomb it. Then they've got McLean sitting off a bit, playing an extra back. We've got Moore playing an extra back, so it's going to be a tussle of who uses the ball better going forward. We don't want to just bomb it because that plays into their hands. So that's the main message. I think around the contest it was pretty even. I think our boys are looking pretty good. If we keep playing like that, I'd be confident that we can play all right.
One of the things the boys touched on upstairs is that there's been a couple of goals kicked by Bayswater in a lot of space. Is there a bit of a Paul's paddock going on there?
No, it's all about, we train different ways, but it's all about using the ball well. So if you can push up and then they're going to sit off, eventually they'll come with you. And if they come with you, then you can get them over the back. So it's a bit of, sometimes you've got to push up, sometimes you've got to go back. It's just, sometimes if an opposition turns the ball over, that's when they get exposed. So we're trying to create turnover and then hurt them on the way back. I better go.
Thanks, Paul. Good luck.
Great stuff there, Dan Sensick with the senior coach Paul McCormick from the Bayswater Football Club. They lead by one straight kick, 3-1-19 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Doncaster is 2-1-13. Here's Brad Henderson for the second term.
Thank you, BWS. The second quarter gets underway. 6-point lead to Bayswater. 3-1-19 to Doncaster East, 2-1-13.
Let's cross down boundary side to Brett Beston, who was over with Steve Buckle on the Doncaster East side at quarter time.
Yeah, from the Donny East Huddle boys. They started off the game having the fifth on ball. Brock McLean was playing on the ball. They've abandoned that and they've gone back to a more conventional setup, but they will play him fifth on baller around the stoppages. They want shorter hit-ups. They want to lower their eyes and basically just cut down the time that Bayswater have with the ball.
Umpire throws it up now. Free kick has been paid, some holding on. It will go the way of the Waters and their big ruckman there in Harris Alkasovic. Out of the middle. Long searching kick then off the left foot.
Nice!
Oh, great mark taken by Eddie. And it was Jess Moore who drove it forward then. And Dave Eddie taking a strong mark. Judged it beautifully. And we'll go back and line up for his second goal of the day.
It's created a few headaches early, Dave Eddie, hasn't he, Pete?
He has. I mean, his pressure's been really good, and in the air, he's showing he can match it up there as well. So, no, he's started the game really well.
Former Upper Ferntree Gully and Mulgrave player, seasoned Division 2 footballer. Always seems to play in Division 2. There's the kick by Eddie. Looks okay. It's just hung it out to the left. And a minus score there for Eddie. So 1-1 his return so far today.
Is the helmet new? I'm second guessing myself at the moment.
Yeah, he used to have the ponytail, I reckon.
Yeah.
Sort of long hair.
The man bun.
Yeah, exactly. He had the man bun for many years.
So Batsanis goes out to Summers, who's come a long way from the forward line. He had 3 players to beat there, and the Waters have the numbers at the full.
Oh,
he's Moore, who's copped one high, and he ducked into it. And holding the ball was the decision there, which is perplexing everybody up here on the balcony. Short passes on though. Summers goes into James Appleby. On the right boot now, kicks it up towards the wing position. He was trying to spot up there. Lucas took it on the one bite, but couldn't pull down the mark. Now it came down. Summers got it away to Martin, who's looking for someone up forward, just needs to poke it forward. He was looking for Ceravolo, who was leading, but it was chopped off nicely there by Kiddo, who goes back to the goal square where Aaron Coate takes the mark. On the right boot, switches it out to the back pocket where Scott McInerney will wind around on the right boot. Kicks the ball up towards the half back line, using his body quite well then was Callanan. Couldn't take the mark, but was able to mop up, snap around the body up towards the wing position. And the umpire might have paid a mark here to James Appleby. He has.
Shepherding out in the contest.
It was Tommy Appleby. Those brothers mixed up. I might just stick with Appleby. As it goes out, the umpire's going to call for it back and might have gone out of bounds.
Juggled it over the boundary line.
If they're going to isolate Jack Callanan, he's not going to do any damage on a half-back flank.
So the umpires couldn't get more dead centre if it tried this boundary throw-in as it comes in now. A little bit of holding from both ruckmen there. Smith was there against Alkasovic as it comes back towards the boundary line, scooped upon. Coate just slammed it on his boot up towards the half-forward line. Bayswater on hands and knees. McGilvray Smith went backwards. Nicely done there by big Jared Smith. Got it away. Micah Stephen on the right boot up towards the half-forward line. Spotted up a target. And Doncaster East is now 2 kicks from home as the ball goes inside forward 50. It just had too much carry for Summers, and now Bayswater to mop it up. Here's Benny Searle, who takes the mark. One of the greatest haircuts of all time in the Eastern Football League that I've seen. Poked it out towards the half back line, throwing it away. Almost there was Eddie. He's going back towards the Searle direction. Spun on a throop, got the boot to ball just in the nick of time. That was okay, but taken by Lucas. He's had a bit of the football here. Jared Lucas for the Doncaster East Football Club. He's going to pop it up into the hot spot now. Bayswater had all the numbers there, and Daniel Kiddo takes the easy mark and then switches it out wide, out towards Joel Galvin. May have been a bit of holding on going there against Jake Whitling. Umpire said he did see it. So it comes back. Got the handball away, wanted to go on with it. The umpire said, no, Joel, you need to come back over your mark. You do know the rules.
I'll tell you what, BWS, I reckon I'd look really good with a Benny Searle haircut. What do you reckon? Do you reckon I'd pass?
Well, why don't you try, Brash, and find out?
Well, I'll pay for it if you want to get it, Brash, as the kick goes up towards the half-forward line now for Bayswater. Kept alive, though. That was good play there. White scrambled a kick, gained a further 30 metres. Whitling was able to mop up on his favourable side. He had nobody home, though. He got 40 metres, but McInerney was there to chop it off for Bayswater. In the middle of the ground, he goes. Alkasovic got the handball away to Galvin. Over the top now. They're linking up well. McGilvray-Smith got the handball away. Now in the middle still. Kick up towards the centre-half forward line. Searle at the back will be the big flyer. Nicely knocked away, though, by the Doncaster East backs. In the middle, Eddie got dispossessed of the football by James Locke, he's all over him with a nice little bear hug in the middle to boot, and the umpire will come in and bounce this football right in the guts of Bayswater Oval. It is Bayswater leading by 7 points. Barry Cott, some more scores around the grounds.
Yes, in Division 3, quarter time, Scoresby and Baronia. It's Baronia 2-3-15 leading Scoresby 1-5-11. And also in Division 1, East Ringwood and Montrose, quarter time, Montrose 4-3-27, East Ringwood 2-2-14.
Thank you there to Barry Cotts. It is a 7-point lead to Bayswater, 3-2-20. Doncaster East 2-1-13. Ball at half forward position for Bayswater. The scoreboard end of Bayswater Oval. This is Locke taking possession. High up and under kick, hugs the boundary, and in fact it goes over the boundary on the full. So free kick to the Waters taken by Cunningham. Gives it to Kiddo. Daniel Kiddo shares it now with his teammate in Schroeder. Schroeder, who's always a pretty effective left foot kick. Got it to Coate. Coate's kick, it's a bit of an underground job to Miller. Sold his teammate tackle. Then into a lot of pressure, and Lee Murphy was licking his lips then when he saw the ball go to Schuth. He had him all wrapped up, and obvious holding the ball decision. Martin's kick now. Jack Martin finds Brock McLean on the outer wing of Bayswater Oval. McLean looks for an option to kick to. Neat kick to Murphy. So Lee Murphy really just starting to work his way into this game nicely, finding plenty of the footy. Out of defence, the Waters come. Van Ruin, high up and under kick, didn't do Galvin any favours, and he realised he wasn't going to get to that one and just made it hard for his opponent. Advantage is paid, the ball at half forward now. Whitling got the little handball out to McLean. McLean's kick looking for Batsanis, but the boundary line is the victor on that occasion.
It's actually really good play by Jake Whitling there. It was a scrambling kick on the advantage that he had to attack. It was 3-on-1 and managed to get the handball back, but it was players were caught unaware with that advantage, and the skill level was the result of that.
I was caught unaware. I thought it was going to come back. So play was going on well down the field. Boundary throw in. Wait for the ball to come back. It's taking quite a while, as it has on a few occasions today. Schuth goes up in the ruck against Papakin-Stantonau, and yet another boundary throw in.
Both sides are really having problems isolating all their key forwards. They're just not giving them any room whatsoever.
So let's hope this throw-in's a bit deeper than the last one, which was quite shallow, and Ruckman had to charge forward to get to it. Schuth won the tap, taken by Batsan. McLean, in fact, it is there, wrapped up.
Could have been lucky not to get holding the ball there, because he did try to barge the pack.
Happened quickly, though.
Yeah, it would have been a pretty tough call. Might have been technically fair, but would have been extremely tough, as McLean is all bundled up once again. This time definitely no prior opportunity for Brock McLean.
Playing as that fifth midfielder, as we said, as Steve Buckle mentioned.
Loves this sort of grunt work around the contest. Brock McLean made a living out of that over the years. There's a quick kick by Batsanis, throws it on the boot and kicks the goal for Doncaster East. Really making something out of nothing there, Nick Batsanis. And great opportunist goal by him.
And the crowd went wild with joyful glee.
We see Tom Gordon hasn't appeared since quarter time. I was hoping Brett Beston might be able to get an update on that. Look, what appears to be a calf injury from up here on Gordon there. He got a lot of work on it early in the quarter and taken a seat on the bench and hasn't been up. So a bit of a loss there for Donny East if he can't return.
So there's 1 point in the difference. We like to pick the close ones, and so far it's delivering. The home of the Eastern Football League, Bayswater Oval, comes down. Van Ruin got the knockdown, picked up there by Jack Shalakis. He was quickly met there by Velado for the Waters, and that's trapped, and centre half forward is where Morris will throw the ball straight up. Gordon worked his way out there. Summers overran the football. Velado tried to get the handball out on hands and knees. He did so. McLeod was in there. He was crunched to the ground for Bayswater. And we'll have another bounce. 98.1 Radio Eastern and EFL.org.au all around the globe this afternoon. Hope you're enjoying it. Umpire throws it up. It hits the deck once again. Let's cross down boundary side to Brett Beston.
All good with Gordon, boys. He's back on the ground.
Simple as that. That'll put a smile on Peter Bird's face as it comes out now. Velado tried to crunch his way through. Pretty stiff as well as Brock McLean was the one that gave that away as the kick goes inside forward 50. It was a really good one too. Nice little spoil there by Martin, but snap around the body. That might have even been more on the right boot, was it? In fact, it might have been O'Reilly.
It's a bloke running towards the midfield with the white boots.
Couldn't quite work that one out, and it will go for a third time lucky. The big man Schuth puts it on his right boot, and that's the answer for the Bayswater Football Club. Bendigo Bank scoreboard 4-2-26, Doncaster East 3-1-19. There's been lots of pointing going on the left-hand side. Care to explain?
Oh, we're just trying to identify who kicked that goal.
I was referring to before that, but anyway, nonetheless, it goes back into the middle.
Schuth.
Yeah, well, thanks, Frosty. Welcome back, mate.
We're all over it now. 7-point lead for Bayswater, 4-2 to 3-1. Out of the middle, Miller thumping kick off his left foot. Good defensive punch that time from the Lions. Eddie gets the handball back, gave it to Velado. I want to see him sort of work some of his magic. He's been a little bit quiet so far today.
What a pick-up, Shalakis.
Great pick-up by Shalakis right up against the boundary line. Shalakis has kicked to the middle. Ceravolo got the handball away. This is Stephen. Mika Stephen sells the dummy. Kicks for goal. Will it have the legs on it?
Oh,
yes,
what a
ripper! Bounces through for a goal. Gee, summed that up well then, Mika Stephen. Didn't panic. Gathered himself and launched his second goal of the day.
Fantastic stuff there. Barry Koch, you've got some more scores around the ground with the score centre.
Yeah, Division 2, 10-minute mark, second quarter, and Lilydale's opened up a significant lead. Lilydale 5-5-35 to Mitcham, 2 behinds, 2 points.
He sold the dummy real well there, Mika Stephen.
Well, that was pretty special, and we've got 2 special comments, man.
It
So I
was
thought you
special.
were going to talk about it.
It was. He sold the dummy. It was a beautiful piece of play there. Sized it up, kicked a long ball, and it just gently rolled through for a lovely goal.
Ball back in the middle, looking for a rare clearance here. Doncaster East, and they get it. James Locke, but banged it on his boot, but nobody was home. And mopping up quite nicely there was Aaron Hoare as he kicks it out wide. Now Bayswater just trying to set themselves up here. O'Reilly on the right boot, switches it out towards the wing position. Van Ruin, great to have him back in the side this week after missing last weekend. Kicks it up towards the half-forward line, knocked away. And over the boundary line she goes for a boundary throw-in. 55 metres out from the Bayswater goal line. They lead by one solitary point, 4-2-26 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Doncaster East 4-1-25. We played 13 and a half minutes out here.
Yeah, we have indeed boundary throw-in. It's Smith against Elkasovic. Good battle going on between those two. Close to the boundary line, and again over So Bayswater leading by a point, really nothing in this contest. At quarter time it was 3 goals 1 to 2 goals 1. So Donny East have added 2 goals in this term. Bayswater just the 1 goal in this quarter, kicked by Reece Schuth. Alka Sovic there in the ruck. Ball spills clear. No one can really get a clean disposal away. That was some good work on hands and knees. It was well done then by Lopo. And
someone's
earned
a free kick
for a high.
Tommy Appleby, great tackle.
So free kick to Tom Appleby. Great signing for the
I reckon
Lions this year.
both of them a good sign up.
Yeah, terrific pick up. Those 2 players coming from Warrandyte, of course, premiership players for the Bloods. Plenty of experience, plenty of hardness around the footy, and skillful players as well. This is Galvin who receives the free kick. Galvin's kick, though, was a poor one. A rare skill error by Joel Galvin. Landed it on the chest of Sammy Gold, and Gold goes short with the pass. It's Whitling. Left footer, Whitling. Kick to the middle of the ground. Ben Searle there giving a free kick away. And the free kick will go to James Appleby.
Well, he made
pretty
him,
tiggy touch with that one.
Yeah, he made him earn it too, though.
No advantage that time. Appleby went short to McLean. McLean, a very short kick. Bit off a bit more than he could chew. Brock McLean on that occasion. I was used to seeing that happen plenty of times over the years when he was playing for Melbourne. Just ambition, being a bit too ambitious with the kick. This is Shalakis. Well wrapped up there by McLeod.
See you later,
and
Jackie.
It will be a free kick against Shalakis as Wayne Brasher rubs it in. Free kick to McLeod. Left foot kick. Summers takes the mark. Had front position then, Jakey Summers.
Gee, did that go 15?
Probably, yes. Borderline, probably just.
Yeah, 15.5.
Summers kick to a big pack of players. Appleby tried to rove the contest. Gordon, strong tackle applied. Ball spills clear. Great tackle, terrific tackle from behind on McLeod. And holding the ball there, I think it's Appleby getting the free kick.
Should have paid the first one. The first one was there as well.
Well, it has been a hot potato in the last couple of minutes of play. A couple of holding the balls from both sides there. So the umpires are being consistent in their new rig of uniform, sponsored by Car Sales, of course. But Doncaster East, Brad, a chance to put their noses in front for the second time for the afternoon through James Appleby.
Yeah, I noticed they're trying to get into James Papa-Constantin now behind the play and really get him to concede a free kick. And it looks like it's worked because a free kick is going to Bayswater. So they've sucked him in there, and now they're letting him know all about it. And I noticed Brock McLean was trying to calm down his teammate, but I don't think it was...
falling on deaf ears.
Yeah, it was, exactly.
Don't reckon the coach will be happy with that.
Oh.
It's what's cost certainly a definite chance at goal. Searle's kick to the wing, and he's put it out on the full.
Oh, jeez.
Well, that's got to be on the full, doesn't it? But we all expect it should be a free kick to Bayswater.
Very interesting there. It was actually Brock McLean that sent Papa Constantin out from the field to play there. He's been interchanged, but it was Brock.
So Callanan, the recipient of the free kick. And the mark taken back there by White, but the ball's going to have to come back. There's a lot of confusion at the moment about...
Yeah, all of a sudden the last few minutes has just degenerated a little bit here.
So confusion, I think, because the kick was out on the full, but then there was some interference. So free kick goes to Gold, a real floater of a kick. Martin's little handball to Smith. McLean takes possession, dishes it off to Summers. Summers fires at the goals, but it was an untidy kick, and I don't think he's going to get a favourable bounce on that one. Minus score for Jake Summers. Scores level here at Bayswater.
Gee, that was good hands by Jack Martin to weave the, just, you know, thread the needle there.
So Bayswater to bring the ball back in. It was a beautiful kick too. Cunningham took it outside the arc. He'll wind around now, try and gain every bit of 50 metres as he drives it up towards the wing position. Martin got one bite on it, came down, Gold got a fist on it. Jessmore came in, trying to work himself out of a phone booth there, but slammed it straight down the throat of Martin, who saw some Doncaster East colours out the side there. He's looking for Lucas, had to fight hard for it. Martin goes in again. Also on top of the football there was Aaron Ceravolo. Umpire asked for it back and we'll have a bounce just inside the centre square, just forward for the Bayswater Football Club. Scores are level, 26 apiece, 4-2-26 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Almost time on here in the second term. Umpire throws it up, trying to get boot to ball there was Shoot. They do have the numbers, the Waters, though. Comes out to Moore, best player on the ground so far, there's no doubt about that. Kicks the ball inside forward 50. Might have been a little bit of holding punt going on there. The umpires aren't shy of the whistle this afternoon. There is absolutely no doubt about that. And it's a free kick to Bayswater. Let's go to Barry Cotts with some more scores around the grounds.
Yes, in Division 3, Heathmont 5-6-36 to Warrandyte 2-2-14. And for your benefit, BWS, St Kilda 5-8-38 leading GWS 4-9-33 at half-time.
Thank God for small mercies.
So there's a lot going on here in the forward pocket at the moment.
Yeah, the intensity in the last 2 to 3 minutes between both sides has really gone up. It's almost like they're trying to push each other's buttons to the max here.
Well, Jack Callanan, though, is the man with the football, and he's 40 metres out from goal.
Hasn't kicked one yet.
Hasn't kicked one yet.
Leading goal.
What are you using? I don't know sign language. I know Pete does, I don't. As it goes left, it goes very left and through for a minor score on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. They lead by one solitary point here, the Bayswater Football Club. He was disappointed with that kick, a class act that is Jackie Callanan, 4-3-27, 4-2-26.
Yeah, leading goal kicker in the competition in second division this year.
Out of bounds, the kick is gone. It was tried to be disguised. Simon White tried to rank it back in, but we were right behind that one, and well, Callanan's going to have another ping here.
He probably kicked this one.
Well, that's the way it usually goes, isn't it? Is he going to run around? Benny Searles just standing right next to him to maybe provide a shepherd if he wants to run around. Comes in now, drop punt, and he has a fair old roost of it. It's the hardest spot to kick a goal for in this ground, and through for another behind. Let's cross down boundary side as it's a 2-point lead out here to Bayswater.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Brash just touched on the intensity in the game lifting well. The crowd's lifted down here a great deal as well. Very parochial atmosphere with a good Bayswater home crowd in.
So Jared Lowther, deep in his team's defence, kicks up towards half-back.
Great mark.
And a good strong mark taken then by Dan Gordon. Gordon wheels onto that left foot. Gordon's kick to half forward, no mark taken. Ceravolo, shot out a handball to Locke. Locke, just a clever little lateral kick.
Spare player in the pocket.
Found his teammate in Cod Miller, and there's a 25-metre penalty going the way of the Lions.
Although he was slow with his ball movement, Bayswater were so worried about him moving it on that they've encroached on the mark there to give the 25-metre penalty away. So a bit unfortunate there for Bayswater, but he should have moved the ball on a little bit quicker than Cod Miller, but he does make up for it. He does get a shot a bit closer to goal.
Yeah, pretty well straight in front, only 30 metres out. Kick looks pretty good off the boot. No, makes no mistake. He knew what he was doing. And Jack Cod Miller kicks his first goal of the day, and Doncaster East hit the front once again, 5-2-32 to Bayswater, 4-4-28. Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 22 minutes gone in the second quarter.
There's a really open forward line for Doncaster East there, and they had nobody home. It was clever by James Locke just to stop prop and look sideways. Brash hit Cod Miller on the left, and then he was able to put through the result that was needed. So
yeah, and especially when when you pushed all your forwards up, you've got to look lateral to try and find that next scoring opportunity or the next player in the chain.
Ball back in the middle here. Doncaster East lead by 4 points. Into time on here in the second term. Ball hits the deck. Strongly tackled James Appleby with Anthony Van Ruin right on top of him. And let's have a restart. So Smith to go up against Elkasovic. Elkasovic probably got the knockdown, but it came into the arms of Smith, who bangs it on his boot. Inside forward 50, bouncing football away from Dan Gordon. Searle was there for Bayswater to mop up the pieces. Handball out wide. Here's Moore for Bayswater on the left boot. Probably first time he's let his team down today with that one, as it goes straight down the throat of White, who's going to just pop it over to Sammy Gold, who's on the true centre wing position out here. Got a few options back, but his eyes are forward, and that's the way to go. Lowther takes the mark. Martin's just over the top by himself, but he's going to ignore that. He's trying to look to square things up a bit here, Jared Lowther. On the right boot. Instead, Goes towards the tall timbering Gordon, and Summers over the back. Brock McLean, little handball over the top. Martin was there, and he was strongly tackled by Kiddo over the line. And we'll have a boundary throwing 55 metres out from the Doncaster East scoreline. It's crossed down boundary side to Dan Sensick.
Yeah, boys, Joel Galvin just having a breather on the bench there. He's been in and amongst it quite a bit in this first half. But look, maybe those old legs just need a bit of a freshen up.
Well, Bayswater, good tackle by Gordon in the ruck there. He might be rewarded for a throw or a high tackle. Oh, interesting one, that one. Alkasovic gets a handball away, put McInerney under a fair old bit of pressure there. Moore's there. They're still in trouble here, Bayswater, deep in defence. McLeod, they're back still in that goal square. Short passes on. Murphy might have been there to chop it off. They've still got the numbers. Here's the Duck on the right boot this time. Just slams it on his boot out towards the wing position, and holding has been paid against Sam Gold, where a good mark was taken by Martin. So Callanan, he's got Searle running for it. On the wing position, goes after it. James Locke just read it well on the right boot, now up towards the half forward line. McLean's there. He'll want to move it pretty quickly here. 24, make it almost 25 minutes tick over. Murphy takes the mark. He's 80 metres from home. Doncaster East looking for another one, looking for the biggest lead of this game here. Pops it up into the pocket, looking for Martin. He doesn't have the height advantage, knocked away from him quite comfortably, and over the boundary line it goes.
I reckon at times both sides are actually sweating on the turnovers to try and get a possession here.
Yeah, there's plenty of them, that's for sure. 4-point lead for Doncaster East. Boundary throw in. Gordon went up in the ruck. Ball spills over the back. McLean had Aaron Hoare then all wrapped up in the tackle. So dangerous part of the ground. We saw in the end of the first quarter it was deep in Doncaster East forward line when the siren sounded, and they probably missed a chance.
You'll be right, girl.
Still be a few minutes left. 25 minutes gone in this second quarter. There's been a few goals in this term. McGilvray-Smith throws it on the boot. Got it out to McInerney of the Scott variety. His handball then to McGilvray-Smith, who was crunched in the tackle. And good work there by Gordon. Daniel Gordon, that is. So umpire tosses it up once more. Murphy tried to swoop on the footy, but he just couldn't quite get to it before Searle dived in. And Searle there, tenacious as always, was able to force a boundary throw in.
I feel like Doncaster East has had more of the play in this second term and should actually be a bit further in front.
They've been a lot cleaner as well, Ben, in the way they've been able to move the ball, and they've probably just wasted a couple of opportunities going forward.
Spot on. That was Coate. Yeah, even though their score line is, 5 goals 2, doesn't sound like. I mean, they've obviously been pretty accurate, but yeah, there has been a couple of pretty obvious missed opportunities. Ones where, we saw that one before where they had a shot at goal and then there was a reversal. The ball went to the opposition, so things like that have been a little bit costly for them. This is Ceravolo, hard up against the boundary line, throws it on the boot. Did pretty well to keep it in actual fact. Chance here for Lucas, and I think he's got the goal. Yes, he has, and he sort of made something out of nothing on that one. And goal umpire Trevor Fiander there signalling the goal, and it gives Doncaster East a 10-point lead.
The way that ball came off Ceravolo's foot, I could have sworn it was going to go out in the foot.
I thought it was going to hit my car, but I just got clean before I came in. But what about the handball from the skipper, Batsanis there in the clinches, just locked and loaded, bang, and then boot to ball, a good finish, Brush.
Very good. They just got the upper hand in the last 5 minutes here, Doncaster East.
10 points is the margin, 27.5 minutes gone. High throws it up once again into the middle of the ground. Comes out wide. Doncaster East, they've been better with the clearances ever since we called it out that they were struggling with that. They certainly have stepped it up as the kick by James Appleby goes up to the half-forward line, but over the boundary line and out, just past Steve Buckle and co. Doncaster East dugout. This time a little bit easier to get the ball back over the fence. So 75 metres out, they would like another one. Comes over the back, Stephen overran it. Galvin barged his way through. He's not letting anyone have a bar of that, Joel Galvin.
Oh,
star he
didn't appreciate
Stephen know about it. To big players of Division 2 football, just having the old little bit of how do you do. And of course, no doubt we'll have a beer with each other after the game as well, but when you're on the field, it's no holds barred, is it? So the umpire to throw it up 70 metres out from the Doncaster East goal line. Dan Gordon got the knockdown. Whitling overran the football. Murphy goes after it for Doncaster East. It stays alive. And it is a fiery game. There's absolutely no doubt about that. It's right near the Doncaster East dugout.
Yeah, Jess Smaller came in over the top then with a little bit of a cheap bit of a cheap one. That's why the Lions reacted the way they did.
Well, here's Dan Gordon for a Malcolm Blighter. And it's not going anywhere. Yeah, I should have said that one, shouldn't I? As the siren sounds to announce half-time. And just need to cool. Everyone needs to just cool their jets a little bit out here at Bayswater Oval. It's been a very good first half. It's been an entertaining first half for the big crowd that's ensembled out here at the home of the Eastern Football League. Half-time scoreline is Doncaster East leading by 10 points, 6-2-38 to Bayswater, 4-4-28. There's only a couple of multiple goal kickers on the ground. One of them is Michael Stephen for the Doncaster East Football Club. The other is Jack Cullinan for the Bayswater Football Club. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe on afl.org.au. This game's a little bit behind a lot of them out there around the east, so if you've got some scores, send them through, those halftime important scores on Twitter at FootyEFL. Is the handle, and of course Dan Sensic and Barry Kotz, they'll come back and we'll hear all about those around the ground scores, of course, crossing to the 9 News Centre as well with Corey Norris. We're looking forward to that, but most importantly, the second half of football out here is set up to be an absolute ripper. Stay with us.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Mum for everything she's done.
My brother's been having a pretty rough time. I'd like to reassure him that it'll be okay.
I'm sorry that it ended up badly and we didn't remain friends.
I was pretty tough on my brother when he was younger, and I'd like to apologise to you now, mate.
It's never too late to apologise, forgive, or say something you've always wanted to say to someone. So reach out and tell a loved one what they mean to you. Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL.org.au is the place to be online for all the latest on the Eastern Football League. Keep up to date by checking out the latest news and feature articles. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos, and best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. Head to EFL.org.au. The Eastern Football League. Local footy at its best.
G'day, Billy Brownless here from The Footy Show. KFC Almost Footy Legends is back in 2018 and we're searching for the best highlights from local footy. Head to 9now.com.au/AFL Footy Show and upload your entry for a chance to win $35,000 cash plus a year's supply of KFC.
Program sponsor.
Never miss out on the latest information on the Eastern Football League through the league's social media channels. Live updates, information and scores through the league's Twitter account.
Something nice that I have done for someone, I have bought a meal for a homeless person.
I always offer to pick people up from the airport.
I went out with a friend last night. Just being there and listening to what she was going through, I think made all the difference.
I'll write like a little note and put it in the mail. Might just be like, hi, I'm thinking of you.
I took my girlfriend to dinner last week. That's pretty notable for me.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, they know that every life is unique and they think that every celebration should be too. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Half-time here at Bayswater Oval in the big clash between Bayswater and Doncaster East. In the last few minutes, Doncaster East gained the ascendancy, and at half-time they lead 6-38 to Bayswater, 4-28. Goal kickers for Doncaster East, 2 to Michael Stephen and singles to Nick Batsanis, Thomas Gordon, Connor Lucas and Jack Codmiller. Whilst for Bayswater, all single goal kickers, David Eddy, Joel Galvin, Aaron Cott and Reece Schuth. And it's been a very, very entertaining clash so far in this game. Some other scores going right around around the EFL this afternoon, and it's over to you, Barry Cotts, with all those important scores.
Yes, Barry Cotts here in the score centre. Let's go start with Division 1. South Croydon and Doncaster half-time. South Croydon 11-6-72 to Doncaster 6-7-43. Norwood is blowing away Noble Park at the moment. Norwood 9-8-62 at half-time to Noble Park 2-9-21. Vermont and North Ringwood, a close game, but Vermont just in front at half-time. Vermont 8-5-53 to Ringwood 8-2-50. Blackburn 8-6-54 lead Roval 5-5-35. And Knox and Bourne, and it's Bourne 8-4-52 to Knox 5-7-37 at half-time. Murrelbark and Upper Ferntree Gully, it's Upper Ferntree Gully 5-5-35 to Murrelbark 3-10-28. Mitcham is behind Lilydale by a significant margin. We'll have some scores in just a moment. Division 3, Churnside Park and South Belgrave. It's South Belgrave 4-6-30 to Churnside Park 3-2-20. Heathmont and Warrandyte. Heathmont 4-3-27 to Warrandyte 2-1-13. And Templestowe and Donvale. Not much in it at half-time. Templestowe 7-5-47 to Donvale. 7 goals straight, 42. So pretty good kicking to half-time there in that game. Division 4, Forest Hill 20 to Glenwhaley Hawks 7. Surrey Park and Whitehorse 3-3-21 to Surrey Park 1-3-9, and Sylvan 5 goals straight 30 to Coldstream 3-3-21 in Division 4, and we'll have some more scores coming up very shortly. So very interesting game here on excellent conditions here this afternoon, Brash.
Thank you very much, Barry. And keep those scores coming in at Footy EFL, and if you're all around the world, watch our stream on the EFL YouTube page. Joining me at half-time is the media manager, Dan Sensick. Dan, a very entertaining first half. Doncaster East, just in the last 5 minutes, just seemed to get the upper hand.
Yeah, certainly, and I know you guys touched on it upstairs. That they just seemed to get on top in the midfield battle, and just seemed to be moving the ball a bit better and a bit cleaner around the stoppages, which is shown on the scoreboard. They booted, I think it was 4 goals to 1 that quarter, so they got well on top in that area. But look, there's a fair bit going on around the footy as well. Intensity's high, Brash, as you touched on. Yep. Tempers flaring maybe a little bit, but look, at half-time, just refresh, go in, regroup. I'm sure they'll be both sides ready to go in the second half. At ground level, Dan, do you feel that Doncaster East should be further in front? Oh, exactly. Yeah, that's my thoughts exactly, Brash. They've dominated the midfield in that second term. Probably could have been a bit cleaner with their disposal going inside forward 50, but prior to that, up the ground, they've been flawless in the way that they can hit targets and get on top in that area. But one of the players that's impressed me is Simon White. Now, having seen him a fair bit with Carlton, the way he's penetrating kicks so far today, to be able to hit a dime from almost 50 metres away, he's got a great boot on him, Simon White, so they've picked up a ripper there. But also, look, there's a number of players that have really stood out for Donny East. Nick Batsanis has been coming on and off the ground. I suppose you have to on a day like today with warm conditions, but for Bayswater, look, I'm pleased to see Velado back out there. You'd know Velado, Brash.
I do very well.
Having covered a fair bit of Division 1 over the years, so it's great to see him back. But also Joel Galvin, he's been in amongst it, got a goal to his name to half-time as well, which is great. Came off for a bit of a rest late in that second quarter, so case being again that he just needs to refresh and in the warm conditions. Not too sure what the temperature is today, Brash. It might be I think it's mid-20s.
In the mid-20s. It's currently 27 degrees here in Bayswater.
Currently 27 degrees.
So
correct.
So probably add another 3 or 4 out in the out there. So there'll probably be 31 degrees. I reckon one of the things that I've been really impressed with Doncaster East, the recruitment of the 2 Applebys. Yep. And I've said this during the commentary that they've added another 2 midfielders to the rotation, and both of them are equally able to run back and forward to help out their respective lines of play. You can see that they're going to add a lot of value to Steve Buckle and give him a lot more ammunition as the season progresses. Well, they certainly don't look out of place in a higher division for one. No. And, when
You get that sort of quality in. You want to give them as much game time as possible, which is what they've been doing today. I don't think I've seen them come to the bench too many times.
No.
They're just that quality, in and under type players that will really add a bit of grunt around the Bayswater side, and that's probably one of the things they lacked last year, Brash.
Yeah, they
that
did.
Leadership on the field. Can't be left to the same few all the time. So bolstering their midfield stocks is just tremendous for them.
Well, I think the other thing I think Bayswater need to take stock of, I know Paul McCormick said at quarter time that they wanted to try and isolate Jack Callanan. My problem with that is Jack Callanan's not going to do any damage if he's pushing that far up the ground and taking marks on around the half-back flank, because he needs to be in the forward line. And if he's going to run that loose man with Wayne McInerney in the back line, Jack Callanan can't afford to be running through the half-back flank because they have no forwards then. I reckon that experiment, I think he might actually have to rethink that at half-time.
Oh, exactly right. And he's had a couple of opportunities as Jack Callanan to kick a major in the second quarter, and it's cost his team on the scoreboard as they find themselves behind at half-time. And now let's cross to Corey Norris from 9 News to bring us up to date, all the news and sport. Good afternoon, Corey.
Good afternoon to you, Dan. I've got to say the Saints, well, they've been under the pump for a few weeks, haven't they? Alan Richardson, the coach, he's been under siege, but they are putting up one hell of a fight against the top of the table Giants. They're just 8 points down heading into three-quarter time. So Alicia Mewling will have all the highlights of that match tonight. 9 News at 6. Also making news, well, this is a horribly tragic story out your way, where a 19-year-old man and a 15-year-old girl have been arrested following a high-speed crash that killed a couple in Wanturna South. The teens were arrested, yeah, it is, and the teens were arrested at a house in Belgrave just a short time ago. They've been given medical treatment and are under police guard, but it's absolutely tragic stuff from Wanturna South. Also tonight, North Korea has announced it'll immediately halt nuclear and missile tests. The Colac-Otway Shire has backed a plan to introduce tolls on the Great Ocean Road, so it looks like we will be paying to drive on that spectacular piece of road. And some cute dogs have joined the walk for the Think Pink Foundation, which of course is a fantastic charity. That's all coming up tonight on 9 News at 6 o'clock with Alicia Loxley.
Sensational work by you, as always, Corey. Thanks for joining us on EFL Game Day.
Thanks, Dan. Good afternoon.
Corey Norris from 9 News. Make sure you tune in at 6 o'clock every night for all the latest in world news and sport. Well, Brash, back to what we were talking about. It's going to be a testing second half, especially with the 27 degrees out here. We saw it at Div 1 Grand Final last year. It's more of a war of attrition, isn't it?
It is, and the thing is, it comes down to who's going to be the more cleaner and efficient with the ball moving into the second half. Baz, I understand we've got some more scores come through.
Scores here at the school.
And here, and you don't know. I don't know. Sometimes it's like robbing. I think it's the proverbial robbing to pay Peter to pay Paul. You want your big players in the game, but then on the other hand, you need them where they're going to serve you best. And the thing is, if your centre half forward keeps roaming too far and too wide to get kicks in the football, and he sets up the play, he's not going to be there to capitalise on it, and then that puts a lot of pressure on your smaller forwards to try and play tall, take a mark, or hopefully just create a contest, and that they're at the foot of the ball and hopefully pick up the crumbs.
No, exactly right. And one of the things about Hammond was that he did come back from training with North Melbourne late last year, super fit. So it's a long season ahead, Brash, so plenty of time. But one thing we should make mention of is we see the Knox Football Club senior women's team just assembled out there, and of course the Bayswater senior women's team. Those two sides will play later this afternoon at the conclusion of this game. So this weekend the Deakin University Eastern Region women's competition kicks off, and look, a record number of teams, and it's just great to see out here, and they got a great afternoon for it too.
How many sides, Dan, have they got in the senior women's? A dozen? They got a dozen?
18, to my knowledge. Yep.
18 sides.
So it's basically doubled in the course of an off-season, pretty much. So there's a lot of clubs trying to get up a senior women's team for next season as well. It's only going to get bigger, and one of the key things too is that a lot of these junior girls playing footy need somewhere to go.
Both sides are back on the ground, and we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back after the break,
I'd like to reassure him that it'll be okay.
I'm sorry that it ended up badly and we didn't remain friends.
I was pretty tough on my brother when he was younger, and I would like to apologise to you now, mate.
It's never too late to apologise, forgive, or say something you've always wanted to say to someone. So reach out and tell a loved one what they mean to you. Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back. Third quarter just about ready to start here. I'll hand it over to you, Brad Henderson, for the opening bounce of the third quarter.
Yes, thanks very much, Brash, for that. And the third quarter just about to get underway. The field umpire holds the ball aloft, and the siren sounds to start the second half. Not quite as blue skies as it was before. It's just cooled down fractionally for the players, which I think will be much appreciated by them. And it's a 10-point lead going into this third quarter, the way of Doncaster East. In that second term, they kicked 4 goals 1 to Bayswater's 1 goal 3. Umpire throws it up. Nobody got hands to that one. Locke throws it on the boot, sends it forward, and good mark taken defensively for the Waters. They'll come away through Searle. So Ben Searle, his defensive 50. Shalakis there manning the mark very diligently. Searle's kick to half-back. Coate was the target. Was tackled by Gold. O'Reilly puts his body over the footy and can't go anywhere with it. Let's cross down to the boundary with Dan Sensen.
Thanks, Brad. Starting on the bench for Bayswater this quarter, Cam McLeod, Ben White, Kurt Lopo and Reece Schuth.
Smith won the tap down to Stephen. Locke throws it on the boot. Nice mark taken by Papa Constantin out. And he did well there against Schroeder. Who's no easy man to move off the footy, but...
See, that was a beautiful piece of ruck work there by Michael Stephen. Beautiful one-handed tip. Set up James Locke loose.
And Papa Constantin now, you could say he probably owes him one here because he did get a decision reversed in the first half, which could have cost the Lions a goal. So Papa Constantin now. Gee, it's very close to the goal post.
Oh, it's home.
I think he's just snuck it home. He has, and he kicks his first of the day. So good goal there to James Papa Constantin now. 7 different goal kickers today for Doncaster East. 7 goals on the board for them. 16-point lead to the Lions on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
It's an important goal there for Donny East because they open up that bit of breathing space heading into the second half now, and felt any momentum Bayswater could try and be building at the start of this quarter.
I think that experiment, Pete, with Wayne McInerney in the back line as the loose man is over. They've got to chase. They need to score goals in this quarter.
So the umpire throws it up. It was even Stephen in the middle, looking, try to barge his way through there. Jared Smith, the big man, very athletic. Let's cross down to Brett Beston with the opening bench of the Doncaster East Football Club.
Actually, I've got Steve Buckle with me, boys. Steve, very quickly, what was the message at half-time?
I'll just continue what we've been doing and continue to close down their space and make them accountable around the stoppages, because I think that's where we're getting on top now. So, yeah, I think we're just letting them have easy releases out the back, and we've shut that down, and if we continue to do that, we'll go all right.
Well, the ball moves forward. Here's Whitling on the left boot. Can he put it through again? Well, it wasn't good to look at off the boot, but straight all the same. And Jake Whitling, he's a very class act here. Mr. Doncaster East last year on one of their club nights as well, wearing the Speedos, and he puts through the goal on the board for Doncaster East, and they've kicked 8 goals now, and all of a sudden this game's opened up a little bit, Wayne Brasher. 50 plays 28.
Yeah, exactly what the doctor ordered after half-time. Just 2 quick goals just to put Bayswater on the back foot now. Bayswater are going to have to chase the game now. They're going to have to attack right down through the middle.
It's interesting to see Steve Buckles probably identify what we just spoke about, Wayne, with Wayne McInerney probably being the key to try and Bayswater revival, being taken to the last line of defence by Jared Lowther.
Smith's quick kick out of the middle found Batsanis, got it back from Appleby. Batsanis, a beautiful pass to Summers, who probably should have held the mark. Hit him on the chest, and Summers, who probably should have held the mark, hit him on the chest, and Summers, who probably should have held the mark. Hit him on the chest, and Summers, who probably should have held the mark. Hit him on the chest, and Summers, who probably should have held the mark. Hit him on the chest, and Summers, who probably should have held the mark. Hit him on the chest, and Summers, who probably should have held the mark. Hit him on the chest, and Summers, who probably should have held the mark. Hit him on the chest, and Summers, who probably should have held the mark. Hit him on the chest, and Summers, who probably should have held the mark. Hit him on the chest, and Summers, who probably should have held the mark. Hit him on the chest, and Summers, who probably should have held the mark. Hit him on the chest, and Summers, who probably should have held the mark. Hit him And Cardinal Sinner, if he dropped the mark and he went to ground, the ball goes over the boundary line. Let's cross down to Brett Beston.
Starting bench for Doncaster East in this quarter, it's Lucas, Gordon, Codmiller and Murphy.
So
great stuff by Besto, getting a coach as well as the game, as the second quarter had started. Good stuff, mate.
Jake Summers, just his hand and ball skills just have been a little off today. I mean, he's just not hitting the target or with his disposals.
Now, we've seen him play some mighty games in some of our radio games, Brash, and today certainly has been a bit of a quiet one by his standards. As you mentioned, a little bit fumbly. So the ball now on true wing position for Bayswater. The kick inside forward 50. O'Reilly flew high and safely
great
takes
mark.
the
Yeah,
mark.
that was a good mark.
Terrific grab. Judged it nicely, and he was in a pack of 3 or 4 then. In fact, pack of 3, middle of the pack, and pulled it down perfectly. Good one grab mark. So Craig O'Reilly, can he match that mark with a terrific goal? This will test him. Looks good.
What a beautiful kick.
Loaded beautifully through the air, and he has kicked the goal. So a great mark and goal for Craig O'Reilly, and it keeps Bayswater in the contest. They were trailing by 22 points before that goal. It's back to 16 points. First goal for the Waters for quite some time.
I think we're going to see the game really open up. I think in this second half, I think both sides will really want to attack and expose any sort of weakness, whether it's running or by tackling pressure.
16 points is the margin. 6 minutes are ticking over now in this third term. Smith got the knockdown quite easily that time, but mopping up nicely there was McLeod for Bayswater. Got the handball away to Moore. Familiar left boot up towards the half-forward line. Huge fly out there by Eddie. He couldn't take the mark. Has he been paid a push on the way down? Or maybe he was paid the mark. I don't think he had enough of it. Nonetheless, it doesn't matter because Bayswater are going forward and they've got the sit. Here's McInerney. No, he couldn't quite pull it down at the fall of the ball. Stab around the body there by O'Reilly. Can he make it 2 in a minute? He can't. Across the face, a goal it goes and out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, McInerney's gone forward now. Had to happen. Had to give up that sort of span in defence, Rush.
Sounds like you need to swallow that last bit of pie, Pete. Doncaster East clear the ball out now. Oh, there's nobody home though. Aaron Hall was just there to mop it up, and he's opened himself up, probably given himself another 5 metres as too. So smart play by him, wind around on the left. Just pokes it in, looking for Eddie in the front spot. He's got strong hands. Little handball away there by Lucas. And now Whitling. Looping handball over the top. It was a risky one. Found Summers, found Murphy over the top. Oh, this is good play. Here's Tommy Gordon. It's going to sit up for him. He's got time to sum it up. Batsanis is there. Batsanis should take the mark. No, he can't. Will he win the foot race? He will. He got boot to ball with a little push and a shove from Scott McInerney, but the skipper puts another one through. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Nick Batsanis has 2 goals. Doncaster East have the quick answer, and they lead this game by 22 points, 9-2-56. Bayswater 5-4-34. Barry Cotts around the grounds with the score centre.
Yeah, Division 1, it's East Ringwood 9-2-56 to Montrose 5-6-36. In Division 2, Mulgrave and Wanturna South. Wanturna South 6-3-39 to Mulgrave 2-4-16. Mitcham and Lilydale 5-6-36 to Mitcham 4-3-27. In Division 3, we have Scoresby and Baronia, and it's 5-5-35 scores. Baronia 3-5-23. Playvid Blues 12-12-84 to Ringwood 8-5-53. Churnside Park 5-3-33 to South Belgrave 4-3-27. Heathmont 8-8-56 to Warrandyte 2-1-13. Division 4 quickly, and it's Forest Hill 4-3-27 trailing to Waverley Hawks 9-9-63. And Whitehorse Pioneers 5-11-41 to Surrey Park 4-3-27. And finally Coltsram in Division 4 10-5-65 is leading Sylvan 7-6-48.
Doing it beautifully, Baz.
Thank you there to Barry Cotts. Ball on wing position now for Doncaster East, but Bayswater will repel through the middle. Low kick by Lopo, and nicely marked back there by White. Simon White's kick was not a good one, carried over the head of Lucas. Searle marked it. Thought he may have played on. The umpire thought differently. Searle's
Benefit
kick
of the
to
doubt.
the pocket. No mark taken there. O'Reilly tries to swoop on the footy. Handball came away out of defence from Martin, got it to McLean. Cod Miller danced his way through the heavy traffic. Quick kick by Jack Martin. Searle stood tall then, took a terrific grab over the back of Appleby. So Ben Searle.
Always holds his own, Ben Searle, doesn't he?
He's a terrific competitor and he always is so lively. Got it to Lopo, over the top to White. Can White kick the goal? He does. Great finish from Ben White. Lovely left foot goal from him, and it brings the deficit back to 16 points. It's goal for goal in the third quarter here at Bayswater Oval.
Really classy finish there from a young kid playing his first game. The way he just rolled onto his non-preferred, slotted it from 35 metres out on that left foot. That was just all class. You can see the kid's going to be an absolute superstar in the AFL coming years to come.
Yep.
So back to a 16-point ball game. Doncaster East still have the lead. Not a breath of wind out here. It's perfect for football in the eastern suburbs this afternoon. 21 degrees and delightful. The umpire to restart the game here in their new kit. Looks fantastic as well. We need to get the boundary umpires and the goal umpires on board on this one as it comes into the middle of the ground. Murphy trapped it, brought to ground, just got boot to ball. Gordon, little toe poker towards Batsanas, trying to work themselves forward here, barging his way through. Stephen, handball over the top to Batsanas for number 3. No, he pushes it to the left-hand side. And that was quick play coming out of the middle there. They worked their way through traffic, Doncaster East, and got a shot on goal. They'll be disappointed that it went through for a minor. 9-3-57 to 6-4-40, 17-point margin. Bayswater through Schroeder, who played it to himself and then floated a kick out to the half back line. Appleby was there of the James variety. Kept it alive. Really well done here. We'll have another go at it. We'll kick it from a tough position at the top of the goal square. And Gordon, the biggest man in that situation, takes it. And this will be a difficult one for him. He might just want to swing, move himself out a fair bit. Will he use the right foot or go for the left foot check side, Wayne Brusher?
I think he'll go the check side, BWS, and the tall timber of Doncaster East is now really starting to really test Bayswater's small defence.
Well, the big forward's going for that check side, and he makes no mistake either. That's a fantastic kick. He knew exactly what he wanted to do, and the two-finger salute goes up by the goal umpire. That's his second goal of the afternoon, and once again Doncaster East get that answering goal. Barry Cotts, there's more scores. They're streaming in at Footy EFL on Twitter.
In Division 1, Bourne 11-13-79 pulling away from Knox 5-8-38, and in Division 2 Mitcham 8-6-54 lead 4-4-28 against Lilydale.
Jeez.
Oh, 4 goals to 2.
Say that again.
Say that again.
Yeah, sorry. Make that Lilydale at 6-54 to Mitcham 4-4-28.
Well, 4 goals to 2 in this quarter for Doncaster.
Parity has been restored.
There was 4 people up here falling off chairs there, Barry. That's why we had to ask the question.
I counted 1, 2, 3, 4 heart attacks.
Appleby booted the ball forward. Inside forward 50. Puppick and Stantonale was well tackled then by Schroeder, and it forced the turnover. Jess Moore's kick into open space. O'Reilly got the handball to Van Rooyen. Van Rooyen's kick looking for Eddie. No mark taken. Chain of handballs here. Ceravolo got it off to Lucas. The kick was smothered. Orders come once again. Low kick inside the forward 50. No one can really keep their feet for long enough to get boot to ball. And that was Villado there. He was looming large, but he just couldn't quite get the bounce that
he was
needed.
running at the wrong angle, so he just couldn't get his boot around to like try and swing it back. It was unlucky.
Correct.
So Sammy Gold to bring the ball back in for the Lions finds Lowther, who will use the grandstand side. Just keeps it in. Cod Miller kicked a goal early in this game. Enjoying watching him running around in the seniors as a kick up towards the Gordon direction. Had the big fly, had Summers there for support, and you knew that as well. Appleby on the right boot, scrambling kick, but Brock McLean was there just to take it on the right boot. Sends it into Pabek and Stantonale, who takes the mark.
Kick. That was an awesome kick by Brock McLean. Absolutely split the Bayswater defence in 2.
So James, Pabek and Stantonale absolutely one of the favourite sons of the Doncaster East Football Club's already kicked one in this term. So, and from this side of the ground as well.
Tell you what,
huge kick in the context of this game, Brash.
He kicks this goal and it's going to make it really hard for Bayswater to get back in the contest here.
So James Papakin-Stantinow comes in and pushed it right across the face of goal. There'll be no score there, and a magnificent mark taken by the young fella over the fence there as well, and a nice little handball to boot as well. We look forward to calling him over the coming years on 98.1 and EFL.org.au.
And he made it look like he does it all the time. He wasn't excited. He wasn't overly excited about it. Didn't oversell it. Just like shelling peas it was for that young man.
Sign him up.
Lock there, couldn't quite take possession. Whitling got the little handball away. Little handball now was effective to Van Rooyen. High up and under kick, but it's all Doncaster East. Jack Martin had that kick well scouted. Goes laterally inboard to White. Simon White. He goes very short. Just a careful kick. Appleby launches it. Appleby's kick to the pocket. Big mark. Great mark by Gordon. And he came in from the side, set himself for it, and dragged it down beautifully.
Contender for mark of the day, that one.
Donny East just beautifully built a wall behind play there, and just Bayswater played straight in their hands, just kicking indiscriminately into that wall, turned it over, and then they were caught out as the ball came straight back over their heads.
This will be interesting because it's a little bit further out to try the check side, so I reckon he'll probably go with the conventional drop punt this time. He was successful with the banana kick from this pocket just a few minutes ago, but this one a little bit further out, probably needs a more conventional shot at goal.
No.
And that's what he's done, but he's missed it badly, and in fact he's put it out on the full.
It is the hardest spot of this ground to kick a goal from.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just my observation over a long time of calling football from out here. It's almost like, I agree with you, you should be lining up for conventional, but it always seems to push across the face of goal, and maybe even the check side from the 45-degree angle might be something.
Or a reverse torpedo.
There he goes again.
Something like that. That might work.
The young fella, he's all over this in that right forward pocket down the Canterbury Road end of the stadium.
I think he's dived under the car to get the ball.
I reckon the one thing, Pete, that Steve Buckle will be really happy with, especially from about the 15-minute mark of the second quarter, is the forward tackling pressure that Doncaster East have been able to put on Bayswater.
Yeah, their pressure right on, even when they've got the ball themselves, has been really fantastic. And he'd be really pleased with the way they've improved their disposal moving forward and being able to transfer the ball through the corridor, not be forced out wide like they were early.
It's crossed down boundary side to Dan Sansick.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. The conditions have dropped a bit here down at ground level. The sun seems to have gone in, so the sun doesn't have a bit of sting about it like it did in the first half. That's probably why Doncaster East have been able to run away with the game in the second half.
Well, I'd be liking to put on a couple more for a little bit of safety. Barry Cott's, there's scores, and well done to everyone around the grounds today. They have stepped it up today. We're getting plenty through at Footy EFL. Sorry, Barry, I'll go to you shortly. Kick goes forward for Doncaster East. Little kick off the ground there by Cunningham. That was dangerous. Whitling on the left, boot from the boundary. No, couldn't get enough curl, or maybe a tad too much curl. He goes through for a one behind. Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 18 minutes tick over at this stage. 23-point margin to Donny East. Score centre around the grounds. Barry Cotts.
Your Division 3, Heathmont 8-8-56 to Warrandyte 4-3-27, and Templestowe 11-7-73 to Donvale, 7 goals straight 42.
Well, Batsanis there was hunting the footy and then was held without it, but the umpire said play on. Cunningham's kick to the wing. White was in the box seat there for Doncaster East, did really well, stood up in the tackle, got the handball away. That was good footy, got it to Stephen. Lovely kick finds Batsanis. Batsanis with the handball over the top to Murphy. Summers now under pressure. Summers' kick concedes some ground. Finds Whitling though on the bounce. Whitling's handball was a good one to Locke, who beat the tackle, gave it off to Appleby. Appleby tries to brace for the tackle. He feeds it out to McLean. Shalakis has time to steady. They've worked it beautifully, the Lions. And that was great footy from Doncaster East. Finishing in a goal to Jack Shalakis. His first of the day. And as a Donny East man, BWS, and as a footy lover, you would have enjoyed that one.
Well, it's certainly good. They just didn't give up, did they? They were under pressure, and hats go off to the back line of Bayswater there, but working it across the face of goal, and then to be able to be finished like that, still under pressure, was quite impressive, and Jack no doubt will have enjoyed that one. Let's cross down boundary side.
Yeah, just really quickly, boys, Jake Whitling will be very happy about that, because Steve Buckle was very unhappy with that shot on goal. He reckoned he should have centred it, probably fair enough too, so he'll be a little bit relieved, I think.
I think Jack Whitling's third quarter has absolutely been brilliant, Wayne Brasher.
It has, and I'll tell you one bloke that's really benefited from that pre-season is James Locke. He's running all over the ground now.
Remember watching him against Knox last year, we gave him almost best on ground, but Bayswater now to challenge to go forward. Nearly a good mark by Velardo. Brilliantly spoiled though by Jared Lowther on the right boot, and he just trickled it towards the boundary line. That was
I hate to say BWS, but
not pretty, but it's over.
I reckon that's his best position, Jared Lowther, off that back pocket.
Oh, absolutely.
That's his position. If there's a position made for him, that's his position.
By to bring the ball back in. Schuth had the front spot. Stephen was there. And speak of the devil, James Locke hits the deck and receives a free kick. He has been very good today. Brash kicks it out towards the wing position. It was absolutely centimetre perfect. Summers made good space on the right boot. Swung around looking for Appleby, who's also been good today for Doncaster East. James Appleby. Ball gets knocked away from him. Straight into the face of Alan Tudge, the local MP. It looks like it's knocked a few teeth out of him as well on that side. Oh, that couldn't have been better set up. Didn't even do that on purpose. Comes out now, McInerney towards the middle of the ground. Bayswater, series of handballs. Here's the big man, Schuth, a sloppy kick looking for Searle. It's going to sit up for him, okay, Benny. He's paddling it to his advantage. Had Whitling right on his hammer. Charging through, though, over the back there was Cod Miller. He hit the deck. The umpire says, give it to me, boys. And we'll have a bounce right in front of the grandstand here. Jack Whitling comes off, gives a slap on the hand to Connor Lucas, who comes on for him. So a couple of changes late. You can see a few players on the boundary line waiting to come on here as the handball comes out. Van Ruin this way, that way. Just got it out of that danger zone. Didn't want to get pinged. It was mopped up there by White. Switches the play. The kick didn't hit the target, but it might bounce favourably for Appleby. He's been good on the right boot. Inside forward 50. Overkilled it a bit. It goes over the top. Habak and Stanton will be the first player to meet it. Kept the ball alive, but his handball was nicely chopped off by Eddie with a strong tackle over the boundary line. She goes. Barry Cotts with some more scores with the score centre.
Yeah, Heathmont Division 3, 11-8-74 is leading Warrandyte 6-5-41, and in Division 2, it's up Ferntree Gully 6-7-43, leading Mirrabah 4-15-39.
Well, what a crucial stage of the game this is. 29 points to lead. Bayswater really can't afford to concede the next goal, you wouldn't think. And they would have to kick the next one.
They need to kick what they've kicked now, Brad. 6 goals to actually stay in the contest.
Quick kick came out of the pack. Booted away, though, by Eddie. This is Schroeder. Throws it on the boot. Schroeder's kick, really just a kick in hope.
Is out in the full?
He's put it out on the full. Wasn't much else he could do.
Bayswater have lost a little bit of their shape and structure as they move the ball, and Donny East have been able to expose that and break them open a little bit, and that's why there's been a little bit more of free-flowing style of play you have seen from Donny East, and Bayswater look a bit more stagnant and turn the ball over a lot more perceived pressure when they're trying to move the ball.
Let's cross down boundary side to Brett Beston.
It's Dan here. I'm interested on your thoughts on Ben Searle's game today. I think he's been at one of Baysy's best, in and amongst the contest time after time, and he's just continually tried in the warm conditions. And if you're going to run around with a flamboyant hairdo, you certainly got to live up to that.
Absolutely, and he's been terrific, Dan. And as he always is, every time I see Bayswater
every time
play,
we have a radio game, he delivers.
Yeah, he does.
His old mate Daz up in Queensland, he'll be no doubt watching today. A former
EFL media team member.
Yes.
Special comments. Yep. This was Eddie there, who's clearly threw the ball out. That was a pretty obvious one.
Brash was all over that one.
Goes to Papa Constanta now. Gave it to Stephen. Long kick to full forward. Summers, again, just caught out of position a little bit on that occasion. And he's just not his day today, Jake Summers, as that one was fisted through for a minor score.
He has, to Summers' credit though, he hasn't just played deep. He has worked his way out to the half-forward line, even to the wing position to get a couple of touches. As the kick comes out now, that's a good one. Looking for Kiddo over the top there. A bit of shepherding happening, and Kiddo will be the man to receive the free kick now for Bayswater. No, it won't be. It will be Cunningham across the half-back line. Just pops it up towards Callanan, who always has strong jukes. Probably had the better of Rami today as the kick goes in towards the middle of the ground. Bouncing football, threw his head back there was Miller, and he did get somewhat clotheslined in that, so might have exaggerated, but it was certainly there.
Jess Moore's died out of the game here off that half-back line.
Short passes on, McLeod takes it. They've got to go direct here. 25 minutes have ticked over. They've trailed by 5 goals. They need 2 in the... They need at least 1, but they'd love 2 in the last 5 minutes of play, provided the quarter goes that long. So now it's Coate. Kicks it right up towards the hot spot. Good fist away there by Ayubi. Got it down. McLeod of the Tom variety hit up his skipper in Nick Baxanas, who thumps the ball down the wing. What a kick that was, Gordon. Had some space. He's going to go long. Speak of the devil, Brad. Here's Summers. What a fantastic mark. The flight was perfect, and he had to read it spot on. It was a good contest and a great mark.
You could tell that was going to happen. Bayswater just pushed all their players forward of the centre. It just left Jake Summers just to run back into an open forward line. Beautiful kick by Tommy Gordon. Spotted him out.
Great play from Doncaster East from the back pocket right down the ground and hitting up targets. This could almost be, and we don't like to call things early, but it's almost 3/4 time, a 6-goal margin. Could almost be too hard for Bayswater to come back from here, given they've only kicked 6 goals themselves. So Summers yet to trouble the goal umpire or the scoreline here. Comes in now. Standard approach. Goal umpire does not move. Doncaster East now have 12 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 26.5 minutes tick on, and it is 12-5-77. A 36-point lead now over Bayswater. 6-5-41.
1 goal, 1 there to Jake Summers. Hasn't been his best day, but I tell you what, he's made a contest and done some really good 1%ers, and that's what make coaches happy.
Ball back into the middle. Barry Cotts, no doubt there's some more scores filtering through at Footy EFL right across the Eastern Football League today.
Maybe not.
After Barry?
Barry's in the zone.
He's engrossed.
Yeah, I can give you a score. Heathmont 88-56 to Warrandyte 4-3-27.
Quick kick comes out of defence to Lucas, who's played a good game this afternoon. Plenty of touches across half-back. Finds Murphy. Lee Murphy takes the mark. They're streaming forward now, Doncaster East. Players are running into space at will. Shalakis drives it forward. Summers again, he set himself for another big mark. Just couldn't quite time the leap. Wasn't quite there for him that time. This is Searle. Neat again and efficient over the top to McLeod. Little handball off to his partner there. Kick by McLeod was a good one. Finds Callanan. Callanan has a second bounce, steadies, and that was good footy from Jack Callanan. He summed up the situation. He could have blazed away, but he saw Van Ruin on his inside, and he hit him up pretty effectively. It wasn't the greatest pass in the world, but it got to him okay.
Needs to kick this Van Ruin. I think he's been very quiet today. I think he's only touched the ball half a dozen sides. Probably not what Bayswater would want from him. They need more input from him this Arvo.
So the ex-Roo, Anthony Van Ruin, kicks the goal, splits the middle, and he gets that goal that was so desperately needed. And as you mentioned, Brash, for his own copybook today, he probably needed to kick it. But in terms of keeping Bayswater in the contest, more importantly, that was such a crucial goal, and he's done the job. So it's back to 30 points the margin. 12-5 plays 7-5.
I don't want to keep harping on it, but I've got to say the two Appleby boys could be the recruits of the year for in Division 2, because I tell you what, they have really given Steve Buckle some added dimension in that midfield and rotations.
Well, Bayswater, they're living to fight another day. We said they needed 2 before three-quarter time, and that was before Doncaster East kicked 1. So they've got another chance here. It's in Alkasovic's hands. Got the handball away to McInerney in the middle of the ground. Here's Van Ruin again. Pops it inside forward 50. Out wide looking for White. The kick, he had a few metres wide. He would have preferred that going on his chest. He had to work hard for it. And over the boundary line it goes.
I reckon at the 29-minute mark, I reckon you're entitled to go long and hope and drop it into the goal square and hope for a big mark.
Yep, totally agree with that. Batsana's first knockout for his career probably there as he came across the front. Got it down, the handball by Bayswater. They're linking up okay here. Speak of the devil, it's going to that hot spot, Brash. It comes in long, over the back there, stolen by Cott on the right boot. He might have put it through, I think he has. That's 2 in a minute for the Bayswater Football Club, and it is game back on out here at Bayswater Oval. That's his second of the afternoon. It ticks over 30 minutes here in the third term. 77 plays 53, and that's just what the doctor ordered, Peter Baird, for the Waters.
Hopefully he can give them something to build on going into three-quarter time. They might be able to come out and kick a couple at the start of the last quarter, and then you never know. I mean, puts you back in the contest. So that's all Bayswater will be looking to do at this stage.
Well, 24 points the margin. They've kicked the last 2 goals, Bayswater, which is what they needed to do. And wouldn't think there'd be much time left in this third quarter. 30 minutes and 30 seconds have elapsed. Gordon won the tap this time in the middle for Donny East, and it will be a secondary ball up. In this quarter, it's been Doncaster East 6 goals 3 to Bayswater's 4 goals 1. So an entertaining third quarter, some great footy played in that term, but it still sees Doncaster East in control at three-quarter time. They're 12-5-77 to Bayswater 8-5-53. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it is an even 4-goal deficit at three-quarter time.
Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. 98.1 Radio East and streaming live around the globe, efl.org.au. Multiple goal kickers on the ground for Doncaster East. They have 3 of them. Batsanis, the skipper, Tom Gordon, Micah Stephen have 2, while Aaron Coate for the Bayswater Football Club, a timely one late in that term, bringing them back into the contest here. 24 points is the margin out here. We've got Dan Sensick and Brett Beston going out to the huddles for the all-important three-quarter time messages. We'll hear back from those gentlemen right after this as well from Barry Cotts on the score centre with all those important around-the-ground scores as you go local for your footy this Saturday afternoon, the 21st of April, 2018.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Mum for everything she's done.
My brother's been having a pretty rough time. I'd like to reassure him that it'll be okay.
I'm sorry that it ended up badly and we didn't remain friends.
I was pretty tough on my brother when he was younger, and I'd like to apologise to you now, mate.
It's never too late to apologise, forgive, or say something you've always wanted to say to someone. So reach out and tell a loved one what they mean to you. Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
For the best EFL rap on radio, don't miss EFL Sunday. From 10 till 12 every Sunday morning, the best EFL media team on radio. Don't miss EFL Sunday. Goal kickers from 10 till 12 every Sunday morning. The big round media team bring you all the final scores. The game talk to the biggest names from across the league each and every round of EFL footy. EFL Sunday from 10 every Sunday morning. Biggest names from across the league each and every week. EFL Sunday from 10 every Sunday morning on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
Program sponsor.
I'd love to make more time for my loved ones because they really deserve as much help as I can give them.
Because they mean the world to me.
Because eventually they won't be around anymore.
Because I don't want to miss out on watching my brothers grow.
To show them that I value them.
I don't want to regret later on just being too busy.
Apparently a very common regret is that people feel like they didn't make enough time for loved ones.
Tell those you love what they mean to you. Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back to the big clash here at Bayswater Park. It's three-quarter time here, and it's the Doncaster East Football Club holding sway with a 6-4 third quarter. It's Doncaster East 12-5-77 leading Bayswater 8-5-53. Goal kickers for Doncaster East, 2 each to Nick Batsanis, Thomas Gordon and Michael Stephen, and singles to Jake Whitling, Jake Summers, Connor Lucas, Jack Codmiller, Jack Salakis and James Pappa Constantinel. Whilst for Bayswater, Aaron Cott with 2 and singles to David Eddy, Anthony Van Ruin, Joel Galvin, Craig O'Reilly, Ben White and Reece Shoof. And it's been was a very entertaining quarter. Doncaster East jumped out and kicked a couple of quick goals to open that 4-goal lead, and they managed to push it out to 6, but 2 late quarter goals to Bayswater keeps them in the contest, Brad Henderson, and it's only they need to score the first 2 goals in the last quarter to stay in it, I reckon.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think if Doncaster East kick the first goal, or if it takes a good 10 minutes to get either team to kick the first goal, it's going to make it.
Well, it takes time
impossible.
off, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I think you're right. I think Baysy certainly need to kick at least 2 of the first 3 early, pretty quickly. It's a 4-goal margin. But, you know, in that quarter, Doncaster East kicked 6 goals for the term. So that's what Bayswater have to aim for this quarter, a 6-goal quarter, and they can still win the game.
Well, all the important scores coming thick and fast from the @FootyFL Twitter account. Barry Cotts, bring us right up to date with what you've got.
Yes, we've got some three-quarters time scores in Division 1, South Croydon, Doncaster. It's South Croydon 13-9-87 to Doncaster 10-11-71. Vermont 11-7-73. North Ringwood 9-3-57. Knox and Bourne. It's Bourne 13-7-85 to Knox 9-11-65. To Division 2, and it's Upper Ferntree Gully 8-7-55 to Murrelbark 4-16-30. Mitcham and Lilydale, it's Lilydale 12-7-79 to Mitcham 6-5-41. In Division 3, it's Ringwood 8-5-53 to Waverley Blues, just a solitary 1-goal, 6-12, we believe. And Heathmont 11-8-74 is leading Warrandyte 6-6-42. Templestowe and Donvale, it's Templestowe 11-8-74 to Donvale, 7 goals straight 42. And in Division 4, three-quarter time score, Sylvan and Coldstream. It's Coldstream 13-7-85 to Sylvan 9-8-62. And in just very quickly in AFL at Etihad Stadium this afternoon, it's between St Kilda and GWS.
Is BWS going to be happy?
Well, he's going to be nervous because the 28-minute mark, it's St Kilda 10-13-73. Level with GWS 9-19-73. So 73 points apiece, 28-minute mark last quarter.
Boundary line, Brett Beston.
Yeah, boys, I've got Steve Buckle with me. He's pretty happy, obviously, at three-quarter time. Steve, you started to get on top at the end of that second quarter, and you just really kicked into gear in that third quarter. You're well on top, and really just a question of finishing it off.
Yeah, look, I don't know about well on top, but look, we got the better of them late in the second and the majority of that third. Let a couple of goals slip late. But we started winning around the contest and stopped their breakaway and their spread. They were getting easy release out the back of the contest early, so we've shut that down and we've been able to win our fair share of the ball as well.
A couple of your big boys up forward started to get into the game as well.
Yeah, starting to have some influence, so as long as we can keep getting the ball in and get it in quick so they don't have time to get others back, we can get them in one-on-one contests, or if our ball movement's good, we can get them on the back leads. We're actually looking okay, but yeah, look, they're going to take the game on here. They've got nothing to lose, so we've just got to be prepared to go.
Good stuff. Good luck, mate.
Thanks, Brett. Brett Beston down there on the boundary ride, down at one of our boundary riders this afternoon. Hopefully we'll hear from Dan Sensick very shortly. It's a big contest. We're near the last quarter's just about to start for mine. Bayswater will just have to throw caution to the wind here and play straight down through the middle, Brad Henderson, because they need the opening 2 goals to stay in the contest. Dan Sensick, boundary line.
Yeah, thanks, Brash. Gee, and a very animated Bayswater
I can
huddle
imagine.
at three-quarter time. You could probably hear Paul McCormack from up there in the commentary box. It was noted that they had 36 missed tackles that third quarter. Gee, that's massive, isn't it? Probably reflects on the scoreboard. And he implored the likes of David Villado just to lock the footy in that forward 50 and to keep attacking in order to orchestrate the press and translate into goals. He implored them to play rebound footy and take risks in this last quarter.
Thank you there to Dan Sensick on the boundary. This final term, it gets underway as Saravolo takes the mark at centre-half forward for the Lions. His kick was intended there for Stephen, who's limping away from the contest.
He's done a hammy.
He's hurt. No question about that. There's the handball to Searle. Searle shovels it out into open space. Taking the tackler on was McGilvray-Smith. It was a great tackle by Shalakis, and there was nothing much more that McGilvray-Smith could do. He wanted to try and force his way through. Shalakis wheels around, fires at the goals, but he slammed it into the woodwork. That would have been the perfect start for the Lions to this last quarter, and just a matter of centimetres in it.
Yeah, might be a slight hamstring twinge there. Brett Beston will get him right onto that.
Mark's been taken, though, from the kick in by White. Still 2 kicks from home. Inside forward 50 goes Brock McLean. Class act like Brock McLean might go back and have a ping from here.
Oh, he should.
50 metres out, tugged up against the boundary, Brash.
Yeah.
But he's going to go short nonetheless, and he's going to make the angle more acute, but to a left footer like the big man Tom Gordon, who might just wind around here, probably a better percentage.
Yeah, man of my own heart, Tommy Gordon, left footer. Great kick for goal. In my heyday.
Back in the day, way
back.
Boundary.
This is not an easy shot.
We'll go down boundary soon, but nonetheless, Tom Gordon's going to swing around. He's going to push it right across the face of goal. Still alive. Here's Lee Murphy. His kick was smothered. That was good play. Galvin got the football. Quick handball away. They're under a lot of pressure. Eddie got it away to Searle. Searle had a little bit more time. Looping handball away to Moore. He's going to use his teammate there in Coat. He was quickly set upon. Got the handball back to Moore. They're using the grandstand side well here. McInerney got it back to Searle. Spun on a throp and then got dropped the pill. He was unlucky. Good effort, good second and third effort by Benny Searle there. They go backwards, Doncaster East to Sammy Gold, who takes a mark across the half-back line. That's crossed down boundary side to Brett Beston.
Michael Stephen done for the day, boys. It's a groin injury, or as he termed it, old man's injury.
And that's probably exactly how he summed it up as he walked off. As going up almost pretty much uncontended there was Matty Cunningham for Bayswater. Switches it to Eddie, linked up well with McInerney, the duck in the middle of the ground. Handball to Van Ruin. Around the body he goes. He just popped it up, but they did have numbers out wide. And maybe a free kick's been given away by O'Reilly there for just getting in the back. Or maybe it was a shepherding. I'm not too sure what's going on there. Special comments can chime in whenever they feel like it. As it goes up towards the half-forward line, Galvin takes the mark, 75 metres out from goal. Kicks the ball long and high. Martin had the spoil over the back over Callanan. They've still got the numbers. Here's McInerney. Oh! Check side on the right boot, but he put it through for one behind. That would have sparked them, would have sparked the balcony, that's for sure. And through for a minor score. What did you see there, Brad?
Well, it's a bit of a spark in the forward pocket there. 2-on-1 for a little while. Now Wayne McInerney's got a little bit of help, but yeah, tempers flaring after that missed shot at goal. Searle there was crunched from behind.
Yeah, it was there.
Pretty obvious free kick to Ben Searle.
Donny East played us admiring the haircut then, I think.
Certainly been one of the Water's better players today. Lovely
Beautiful
kick. And he's hit his teammate on the chest. That was Villado, who's had a very quiet afternoon, I think it's fair to say. We haven't really called him too often. The former Noble Park
Premiership player.
I was going to say Premiership player, yep. And he hasn't really had a lot of impact today. Hasn't been able to impact the game the way
he would have hoped.
He would have hoped, or the way that he so often has in the past. So David Villado, left footer, looks pretty good most of the journey. I think he's snuck it home.
He has.
He certainly has. And David Velado kicks his first goal of the afternoon. In fact, the first score that he's kicked for the day. Brings the margin back to 18 points. That's a crucial goal. Just 3 goals the difference now. Coming up to 5 minutes gone in the final quarter.
The window of opportunity is still open for Bayswater. I mean, for how good Donny East have been late in the second and third quarters, I mean, they still haven't put Bayswater away here, and Bayswater, they'd still get a sniff. If they can get one more, I reckon they might be able to build a little bit of momentum. So Donny East will be looking to quell that as quickly as they can.
Back in the middle, Smith won the tap down to Lucas, who was all wrapped up in the tackle, and he was going nowhere. 18-point lead to Doncaster East. So the kick to centre half forward. Martin at the back, tries to take possession, does so now. Gives off the handball. Ayubi overran the footy, was crucial. That was a bad mistake. Flying shot at the goal there by Schroeder. And he was just off target then, Hayden Schroeder, with the minus score. So Doncaster East now lead by 17 points.
So he's certainly game back on with that goal by Velado. I know.
How much would they have loved another one there, right there, Bayswater?
I'll tell you what, Gary Rowe, who's listening from Adelaide, the brother of old mate Rowie here at Bayswater, would have been up and about with that one, and he'll get another chance to get out of his chair from his comforts of his Adelaide residence as Bayswater and get to have another shot on goal. It might be a little bit too far out here, but got to take your chances here. Only 17 points is the margin. Kick's going to happen from about 50, 55 metres out. I'll tell you what, you set yourself a goal and you absolutely put it through for a behind. Peter Baird got excited there. He didn't quite get up out of his chair, but you could sense it.
Who was that?
Craig O'Reilly. Minus score. 16-point lead for Doncaster East.
Thanks to the attempt of throwing under the bus there, Brush, as it comes out there from McLean. He mopped it up. Oh, here's Eddie, another chance. Oh, they're working it well at the moment, the Bayswater Football Club. They're certainly on top. Hayden Schroeder, who we know is a good user of the football. He's only about 35 metres out from goal. And he'll have a ping, and all of a sudden, the margin could be back to 10 points.
You wouldn't have thought that about the 20-minute mark of the third quarter.
Schroeder, it's a must goal, and it is a goal. Don't you worry about that. The balcony erupts, and so does the crowd down below. Peter Baird, you can hear him in the background clapping because you haven't heard his voice for most of the afternoon as we cross down boundary side.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. At the three-quarter time huddle, actually, Joel Galvin stressed to the group that if they kick the first couple of goals in this third term, it's game on. And, gee, haven't they proven that? And Doncaster East will be pretty nervous at this point in time.
It's exactly what the neutral supporter wanted out here today. And I tell you what, there's plenty of them out here with the girls' teams coming out. Barry Cotts, there's some big scores happening around the Eastern Football League and even in the AFL.
Yes, Division 2, and it's up at French Gully, 9-8-62 to Mirrabah 4-17-41. And at Etihad Stadium, it's ended in a draw. St Kilda 73 points, GWS 73 points apiece.
Gee, that's bad luck, BWS.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's just bad luck.
I'll take it because I'm not there. So as Gordon had the front spot, Bayswater with the clearance again. The kick was smothered, but then got another boot to ball. Comes up towards McInerney in the tight in the clinches. This is what you want. Whitling, a little toe poker, found McLean. Going to link back up here with Whitling. Has a bounce, has some space. He'll have a second. He's charging up the wing here. Jake Whitling on the left boot. Kicks the ball inside forward 50, but standing strong there was Matty Cunningham.
He's picked a free kick, a hold there on Tommy Gordon.
Whoa,
umpire.
Okay.
I reckon it was on too. It was.
Well, we couldn't quite see it on the replay, Brash, but you could see Papa Constantinow screaming that it was the case, that he should have received the free kick. It's not in the arms of Gordon. It's definitely with Papa.
Yep.
As he'll come in now.
Got the side right and getting the free kick.
Comes in. Difficult angle. on the right boot, set sail for goal, and that is pushed to the right-hand side. It looked good off the boot, but drifted late. Through for a minor score. 2 goals is the difference. 9.5 minutes tick over now on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. In fact, it's 11 points is the difference as Jess Moore brings the ball back in a spearing pass down the throat of McGilvray-Smith, who gave it off quickly to McInerney in the middle of the ground. They're going to link up again now with nicely here. McLeod over he goes. Oh, this is good play. Lopo, coast to coast football. What could happen here? Big fly over the back. McInerney around the body. You little beauty. It is just absolutely game on here. Bayswater on fire in the early parts of this final term, and it's only 5 points the difference out here. 10 minutes tick on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, and that is the Ducks' first of the afternoon. Barry Kotz is getting exciting here, but it's certainly getting exciting around the grounds on the score centre.
Yes, in Division 1, it's Blackburn 82 leading Roval 43, and 10-minute mark last quarter, it's Bullen 93 leading Knox 78.
The big difference there, BWS, is Bayswater showed intent. They wanted to move the ball quickly. They didn't want to play that stop-start stagnant style of footy. If they do that, they're a chance. If they go back into their old habits like they were early in the game, it opens the door for Donny East again.
Just 5 points the margin now. We've got another close one, which is great to see. Brock McLean gave a little handball to Batsanis. The kick looking for Gordon. No mark there to Kiddo. Handball was shot out by Scott McInerney. Ball went to ground at the crucial stage. Batsanis was strongly tackled. Ball on the deck. Murphy throws it on the boot, but Kiddo's back there, almost like a goalkeeper, to save that one, and then puts it straight out on the full. Free kick to McLean.
I'm pretty sure Brock's happy that the umpire called that one back.
Happens a lot, doesn't it? So when they try to quickly rush the kick, it was a bad one, but I don't think McLean would give himself a much chance from here. He
doesn't look like he's even looking at the goals.
No, he's not really. Doesn't tend to do the freakish, Brock McLean. McLean's kick across the face of goal. This is White. Shows pace to burn. Ben White's kick looking for McInerney. Gathered it nicely initially, but then Lowther was right on his hammer, and good opposition then from Jared Lowther to get the ball out towards the boundary line.
Yeah, that was well dealt by Lowther, because there was two Bayswater players lurking behind him, and no Doncaster East players if McInerney took possession of the ball.
Real change in intent from Bayswater now. They're the ones looking to take the game on, where Donny East have almost gone back into their shells a little bit.
Yep.
So it'll be Gordon against Schuth in the ruck contest. That, again, a very shallow throw-in. Schuth takes possession, shoots it out to Moore. Moore floats the kick forward. Didn't do Schroeder any favours with that kick. Handball over the top was effective for Donny East out of defence. Shalakis tried to measure the kick, but it was errant. McLeod intercepted it. McLeod's long kick looking for Callanan. Lowther works his way back, offering support. That was good footy in defence from the Lions. And Rami Ayubi safely holds the mark, and will just try to slow things down, because
which was actually clever, because if he had gone to the hands to McLeod, there was no one up on the wing position.
And it's all moving pretty quick at the moment. Bayswater have taken this game on. Gordon takes the mark on wing position, swings the kick out to McLean. McLean's handball to Whitling. He's had terrific run in this second half. Jake Whitling kicks to the top of the square. Stephen was caught out of position, or Summers it was caught out of position, and safely taken over the line by Scott McInerney.
So a rush behind there.
For a rush behind, indeed. 6 point lead to Doncaster East.
Oh, it's certainly game on out here. What a place to be. The best spot to call football, the home of the Eastern Football League. It comes over the back. Shalakis on hands and knees against Moore. It's been a good contest there. Diving over the top there, Alkasovic. Brash had a good giggle at that one. And we'll have a bounce, 75 metres, probably more, 80, right in front of the Doncaster East bench. Nice palm down, comes out towards Searle. Martin was in there, might be on the full there. Unlucky there, but Benny Searle.
Actually, I reckon he's had a good fourth-quarter performance, Ben Searle here. I reckon he's been easily one of Bayswater's best.
I think Shalakis has done his bit today as well, as he winds around on the left boot for Doncaster East inside forward 50. Big knock away there by Lucas, out towards Murphy, who just paddled it over the boundary line and out of bounds. 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe, efl.org.au. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. 14 minutes tick over in the final term out here. It is one kick the difference. Doncaster East have the lead. It's in their forward line, but McLeod barging his way through for Bayswater. Got it away just in the nick of time.
Oh, umpire missed that one.
It looked high.
He just missed it.
And he was blindsided, came in from the back and called for a bounce. So just outside the forward arc.
Slipped into the high tackle.
Yeah, we can see that on the replays. It came out now. McLean got the handball away. Now it's in the arms of White. Inside forward 50. He goes looking for Pavic and Stanton now. Bounces in the favour of Eddie, who dropped it like a hot potato. Cunningham got it away. Here's Searle on the right boot. Just pokes it out of the defensive zone. McLean was there to mop up. He's 55 out. He kicks it to the top of the goal square. Over the back of Gordon's head. Nicely done there by O'Reilly on the right boot. Got it away to Galvin. Stops props this way, that way. We'll go back to O'Reilly. They'll go backwards to go forwards here and just hold it up nicely. Kiddo takes the mark in the back pocket. So Bayswater, they've had all the run in the first part of this final term here. They're going to use the outer side here. It went as high as it did long. It goes up towards the half back line. Ayubi over the back got a fist on that one, and over she goes for a boundary throw in. It's a hot potato out here at Bayswater Oval. 80 plays 74. 15 and a half minutes gone, Bradley.
Gee, what a thriller. 6 points, the margin. Bayswater certainly have the momentum at this stage. Can Donny East rediscover that form they showed in the third quarter? Van Ruin crashed his way through the pack. Ball was intercepted nicely. Long kick to full forward. Kiddo got the fist to it, had front position. Out towards the boundary line. McLeod was well tackled then by Ceravolo over the boundary line for a throw-in.
It's going to be hard to see Bayswater run at this intensity for the last 10 minutes after they've given everything in the first 15.
Barry Cott's around the grounds.
Yeah, it's a close game here, and it's a close game in Division 3. Baronia are within 2 points of Scoresby. It's Scoresby 59 to Baronia 57.
Oh, old mate Ray Baird, he's out there today. We look forward to hearing from him around the grounds at 5:30.
He'll be out there networking hard.
Haven't heard anything from Tarara, have you, Baz?
Not yet.
So it'll be another secondary throw-in. Smith against Elkasovic. That one was very shallow once more. Strong tackle there by McGilvray. Smith on the deck and the umpire.
He's got that real ABC, BBC name, hasn't he, McGilvray Smith?
Absolutely. Yep, spot on, Brash. Umpire throws it up. Vista towards the line. And Ceravolo there takes it to the boundary line.
Well, when there's been a luncheon and 3/4 of football, people can get a bit full. And
Peanut gallery starting to chirp up.
The balcony's enjoying themselves. There's no doubt about that, especially with Bayswater coming back into play. Stolen by Smith out of the ruck contest. I reckon he's put this one through. Oh, that's one of the better goals of this afternoon. That's a team lifter for Doncaster East. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 18 minutes now tick over, and that is just what Steve Buckle and all his doctors on the boundary line order, because they now lead by 2 straight kicks. Barry Cotts, it's all coming through. Final scores around the East.
Final score in Division 3, Templestowe 15-9-99 have defeated Donvale 11-4-70. So Templestowe winners by 29 points.
Great to see Templestowe back on the winners list after the first couple of rounds without scoring a W. They were on the bottom of the table before today's game, so that's a good result to hear through. Stay with us right till 6 o'clock tonight, because all those scores right throughout with Barry Cotts on the score centre. But it's still alive out here. Brad Henderson, 12-point margin to Doncaster East.
It is indeed 12 points the deficit. It's still in at Bayswater, but they need to get that quick reply. Galvin gave it to Van Ruin. McLeod camped over the footy. It's in open space. Whitling, who's had a terrific second half, measures the kick, lace out on the chest of Jake Summers. And Jake Whitling, I tell you what, the run and carry that he's provided out of the middle today and on that wing, we saw it again on that occasion, but most importantly, the kick, it was a forward's dream. You could just run onto that, Jake Summers.
While other players have started to slow down, he still remained at that pace, and that's really becoming evident later as the game goes on.
He's had a couple of real dashing runs out of defence in the last quarter.
Well, he's kicked one today, Jake Summers. Distance won't be a problem. He's a thumping kick of the footy.
Probably the most important kick of the day here, I would think, for him.
Pretty well straight in front.
Yeah, in the context of the game.
Yeah, for Doncaster East.
That looks pretty good to me.
Looks pretty good. And there's not a lot of celebration behind the goals, but it is a goal for Jake Summers. He's got his second, and that almost shuts the gate on Bayswater. It's back out to 18 points. 14 goals, 892 to Bayswater. 11-8-74 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard as we hit time on.
It's always going to be hard, Pete, when you go gung-ho for the first 15 minutes.
It's the old story. If you're working to retrieve a deficit of like 36 points, you have to get your nose in front.
Yep.
It's no good just getting within a goal. You've got to get that extra go-ahead goal, and unfortunately Bayswater weren't able to do that.
Well, can they answer another challenge? Coke got dispossessed of the football. Donny East fans screaming for it. Let's cross down boundary side.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Make sure anyone at the ground sticks around for the Anzac medal presentation at the conclusion of this game. And also the Bayswater women's team will be unfurling the flag at the start of their game with Knox.
Fantastic. Seen them all out in the crowd. They've been cheering this game on the whole way through, which is always great to see. What a competition.
What a great kick that was from young Ben White there again on that left foot. I tell you, he has beautiful disposal on that left foot.
He's done a couple of nice things. I know his father Michael will be absolutely proud as punch.
Generous 25-metre penalty as well as Galvin.
Yeah, I'll buy real estate off Morris anytime.
I don't reckon he can make the distance here though, Joel.
I think he definitely can. He's already kicked one goal this afternoon. This is certainly not beyond him as he pushed it to the left-hand side, but he did push for it, so you were absolutely spot on as it goes through for a minor score, which some people out there, there's still time, could be a handy point.
The go-ahead point?
Yep.
As McLean, last line of defence to bring the ball back into the line for the Lions. Lowther in the back pocket. Never really does anything wrong, Jared Lowther. On the right boot. There's a scrambly kick. It's going to end up okay, though, because White was there. He's got some polish, goes back towards McLean. Hasn't McLean been sensational today as well? As it goes backwards to go forwards. White again on the right boot, just switches it out wide.
Just the poise, BWS. The poise that both McLean and White have shown throughout the day at various stages has been what the doctor has ordered.
Cod Miller on the left boot, up towards the wing position. Rami Ayubi, only eyes for the football, pulls down a strong mark in a pack, got the handball away. Here's Whitling, the man of the second half, one of Doncaster East's best players, kicks it up to Big Dan Gordon. They're 2 kicks from home. He'll be looking for Summers. He kicks it towards that direction to Summers, who goes up one by, couldn't pull it. Murphy, handball over the top. That was good play. Got it to Lucas, got it to Martin, an up and under kick. Is it going to end up okay? James Locke was underneath it. Oh, what a fantastic attempted of a mark. I thought he almost pulled it down, was Cam McLeod. In fact, I think that might have been Schuth.
He wouldn't have paid at BWS.
It was touched off the boot.
No, it didn't go the required distance.
It looked like it did, but anyway, you're the expert. I'll take your count for it. Here's Papa Constanta now. Papa! He kicks it. He'll give that one. He'll dedicate that one to Alfie Molinaro, who's watching from his home recovering, and Alfie would have loved that one. That's going to see his Doncaster East boys go through and take the 4 points this afternoon. Great goal there. Good crumbing goal. Barry Cotts around the grounds with the score centre.
Yeah, Noble Park's getting a bit of a hammering. Norwood 16-13, 109 to Noble Park 4-11-35. Game almost over.
What a... Gee, from chocolates to boiled lollies in 1 week.
Well, 15-8-98 here. Doncaster East lead Bayswater 11-9-75, so 23 points. You think it's going to be too hard for Bayswater from here. That goal from Papa Constanta now might have sealed the deal. This is Jess Moore taking possession at halfback. Gave it to O'Reilly. Searle runs down the footy, under pressure, got his handball away. It was intercepted by Gold. McLean, another kick up towards the wing. Murphy got a hand to it, tried to reel in the mark, couldn't do so. O'Reilly gave it to Coates. Then on to White. White shared it with Searle. Great footy from Ben White. Runs on with the 1-2.
Nice.
Forward. And a nice mark taken by Schroeder.
Yep.
So Hayden.
He's had a good game.
Hayden Schroeder.
I like the boy.
Yeah, he's got a lot of... his dad was not a bad footballer either.
Schroeder's kicked 1 goal today for goal number 2. Makes no mistake. And just keeps Bayswater in with the faintest sniff of victory, sniff of a chance, as it were. Hayden Schroeder, 2 goals for this afternoon. Back to 17 points the margin on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Barry Cotts, any more scores? Rehashing some of those final scores that have come through this afternoon on the score centre.
Yeah, just repeating that score, Templestowe were 29-point winners. Templestowe's 15-9-99 to Donbar, 11-4-70. So the game's close to finishing, not quite.
Yeah, very close, and we know that Baronia and Scoresby match of the day in Division 3 is as close as it gets as the ball hits the deck once again, and we'll have a restart.
Oh, well, no, one thing, BWS, I'm not getting 22 this week.
Well, I can't remember any time that you've had 22, Brush, so
yeah,
it means nothing to me.
I live in hope.
Yeah, comes out to Moore. Was on his right side, but still just, it's one of those players that just always has the poise and can find that room on his left foot, Nick Del Santo-like, as he pushes it towards the half-forward line.
He's like a lot of left footers. He's lethal off his left foot, and there isn't really much of a right foot at all. And that applies to
most left footers like me, mate. We couldn't kick right foot. We're too unco.
You're putting yourself in the same class as Nick Del Santo now, Brash.
Yeah.
On the left, Wayne Brasher. Comes down. Sammy Gold, handball over the top. He was under pressure. Pretty close to the boundary line out there. It's going to be pretty stop-starty after
I
there.
reckon Baz has got some more for us, BWS.
There has been a little bit of argy-bargy happening, so perfect time to go to the score centre.
Yes, the game, East Ringwood and Montrose. Montrose has hit the front by 3 points, 2 minutes to go in the game.
Gee, could it be heartbreak again?
A couple of players lost their shirts out there. Well, there's Jake Whitling, who I said was Mr. Doncaster East last year, so there's the proof in the pudding at the moment, as Bayswater through Galvin will kick back, found Eddie. Time continues to tick over, it's 27 minutes.
Gee, the seamstress is going to have a lot of fun putting that back together.
Got it away, O'Reilly on the right boot, kicks it towards the forward pocket, good spoil by Martin. The umpire said he's chopped the arms there of Callanan. And Jackie will go back and have a shot on goal. If he can slot this, I'll tell you what, there'll be a few nervous Doncaster East faithful in these, not only in the grandstand.
Does that include you?
Comes in now on the right boot. I tell you what, that's a fair old rooster. He hasn't kicked a goal today, Jack. He's had a couple of chances been forward, but...
Three behinds.
Through for a minor score. Thank you, Brad.
3 behinds.
So Brock McLean brings the ball in, looks for Locke. Van Ruin takes possession. Wheels around now. Nice kick, and he's found a teammate there in Coat. And he can go back and line up for his 3rd goal of the day. And can't afford to take too long over it, though. Obviously, he's got to make sure of kicking the goal, but... does it pretty well, doesn't use up too much time. Nice kick off the boot. That was gun barrel straight from the boot of Aaron Coate, and he's got his 3rd, and it is back to a 10-point margin. They are still just a faint chance in this game, Bayswater.
Sure, Peter Baird's got a comment.
I think he's got some scores from Barry Cotts.
We certainly have. Division 1 final score. Vermont has fallen over the line. Vermont 14-8-92 have defeated North Ringwood 14-5-89.
Holy moly.
So a 3-point win to Vermont.
Haven't North Ringwood really stood up to make other teams take notice this year?
Yep.
At least Wayne Brasher will have a smile on his face for the rest of the day. We're happy about that. Locke was in the middle there. He'll hold it up. Strongly tackled there by Aaron Coate, who has kicked 3 goals today and been a really serviceable contributor for the Bayswater Football Club. He'll go after it again, and Locke will return the favour to Coate.
I reckon in 2 minutes and 10 seconds, you might be a happy man tonight too, BWS.
What, have you got did you have the countdown clock? Oh, I never knew that existed. As it comes out now, here they go again. Lopo for Bayswater, inside forward 50, over the back, Lowther. He'll be the first player to meet the ball. Calliner right on his hammer. Lowther happy to see it over. Umpire's not going to pay that one deliberate. It trickles over and out, 30 metres out from the Bayswater goal line. 29 and a half minutes tick over. 10 points is the margin deep in the Bayswater forward line. Is there still time? Umpire throws it in. Little knockdown came. Ayubi got the handball away, and now in the arms of Lee Murphy, who kicks it out towards the wing position, looking for Dan Gordon, who just couldn't quite trap it on the second bounce. Over she goes right in front of us here in the broadcast position. And we'll have a boundary throw in. 30 minutes have now ticked over. It might be too difficult for Bayswater at this stage. They need 2 goals to put themselves in front. The umpire throws the ball in. Big knockdown came out towards the direction there of Connor Lucas, who dived on it, and a quick call by the umpire just to pull this one back up again and bounce it.
Yeah, you think it might be a little too late for Bayswater. 10 points the margin. Can't be much time left. McGilvray Smith tumbles it forward. McLeod led the race to the footy. Players diving in over the top.
There's a lot of desperation at the moment, which is great to see.
Absolutely. And that is the siren to end the comeback from Bayswater and cap off Doncaster East's 10-point victory. 15 goals, 8.98 to Bayswater. 13 goals, 10.88 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Terrific win for Doncaster East.
As BWS departs the commentary spot to go down and sing the song with them.
They kicked 3 goals, 3 in that last quarter to Bayswater's 5 goals, 5. So the Waters really came hard in that last term. They gave a definite challenge, but Doncaster East managed to steady, managed to keep their composure and hold on for a 10-point win.
Yeah, it was an important win for both sides, for either one of these 2 sides this afternoon, because one side goes 1 and 2 and the other one goes 2 and 1, and in such a very tight competition, wins are going to be like gold bricks this year, Pete.
No, they are, and what I was really impressed with Donny East was they were challenged early in that last quarter. They got within 6 points. They extended it back out to 18. Then Bayswater came again, but they were able to hold on. So all credit to Doncaster East. They really did the job they had to do there, and they'll be really pleased going in, taking the scalp of a team that's come down from Division 1.
And, look, it was a real entertaining contest, Brad. Both sides, it was a tight first half. Doncaster East just got the jumper in from about halfway through the second quarter and opened up a lead at half time. They came out in that third quarter and kicked a few goals and just put Bayswater just in that mindset where they had to chase the game for the whole of the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, and it did open up in that second half as we thought it would. There were 10 goals kicked in the first half between the 2 sides, and then 18 goals kicked in the second half, 9 goals each in that second half. So it definitely opened up a bit, and it was quite a very entertaining game of football in that second half. I thought Donny East were terrific in that third quarter. They played, you'd almost call it premiership football in that third term.
Yeah.
But a great comeback by Bayswater, and they did exactly what you got to do when you're 4 or 5 goals down at 3/4 time. You just got to throw caution to the wind, and that's exactly what they did. Let's cross down to Brett Beston on the boundary.
I've got Brock McLean with me, one of the best on ground, I thought, today, boys. He's going to get fined for this, so he's not very happy. Mate, tough game, but you got there in the end.
Yeah, look, it was really good. Shut up, Rami. Look, it was. We know how good Bayswater are as a team, and in particular after last week coming off a pretty probably disappointing loss to Lilydale. So we knew the challenge was up for us today, and No, we was a bit sort of close there in the first half, but I thought that the second half we really took the game on and shut them down, and I think that was the difference in the end.
I thought the third quarter in particular, you really came into your own, particularly your own game. I thought was very good. So what did Buckle say to you guys at half time?
Yeah, just when we started to get on top of them was when we really got in their face. So we started pressing up, especially in our forward half, and we put frontal pressure on. So once we did that, we sort of shut the game down a little bit and forced them to kick long, which is what they didn't want to do. So, and when they got back in the game, that's what we probably went away from. So, good lessons for us, but yeah, we'll take the win.
And some good all-round performances on your side. I thought Nick Batsanis was really good at the back, and the big boys were good, particularly probably later in the game. The likes of Gordon came into the game.
Yeah, certainly. That old saying, tall blokes don't get any shorter as the game goes on. So it's really good having them there as an anchor for us, in particular when the game goes on and everyone gets a bit tired. So we want to play quick, but at the same time we know we've got tall forwards to kick it into, and they're pretty reliable as well.
Good stuff, mate. Go and have a drink.
Thank you there to Brett Beston with Brock McLean, who will certainly be a major contender, you would think, for the Anzac medal today.
Yes. It's going to be an interesting vote, this one.
Who's voting on this medal? It's not us, is it?
No, no, we're not. I think it'll probably be someone from the Return Services League, I would think. Sometimes they get to have their say on their day.
As the Bayswater ladies team comes out onto the field. Young ladies team, what do you call them? The women's team?
Women's. We'll just call them the women's, mate. It's a good fillip for the Eastern Football League to have so many, to see our great game just expanding, and now with 18 teams, Brad, in the women's league, the senior women's league. It's amazing.
Bit of a concern there. One of the girls got a hamstring strap before the start of the game with ice.
Yeah, I know. Is that the new method of treatment, is it? And I think they're asking the Knox ladies to take the field as a...
I think it's for the unfurling of their flag.
Yeah. Oh, did they win it last year?
Bayswater.
Okay. Just waiting for the presentations to take place down here. We can't basically hear anything, can we, Brad? Is the... No. Oh, we can hear what's going on balcony. And it looks Ben Searle has won the Anzac medal. A worthy recipient. Had a great game for Bayswater this afternoon. Got to say.
Yeah, Bayswater's best player, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unusual in some ways. It's not from the winning team, but just goes to show it doesn't have to be on the winning team.
No.
Should be the best player.
That's
the
right.
best player out there, regardless of which team they play for.
Well, he got my 3 votes today anyway, Ben Searle.
Yep. Well, you got
so I'm in agreement with that. So.
Well, you've got a couple off me. So it's a very good win there to Doncaster East. As I said, the final score here was Doncaster East 15-8-98, defeating Bayswater 13-10-88. And I'll quickly give you the goal. No, we won't. We'll wait for the Ravel.
Let's do it again. We're not having that now.
National anthem. And here come the here comes the song from Doncaster East. Well, there you have it. The victorious Lions, Doncaster East, had to survive a late surge from Bayswater to hang on by 10 points here this afternoon, and it was a really entertaining contest. And as I said, the final score here was Doncaster East 15-8-98, defeating Bayswater 13-10-88. We'll quickly give you the goal kickers again. I've got 3 to James Papaconstanta now, 2 each to Nick Batsanis, Tom Gordon, Michael Stephen, and singles to Jake Whitling, Jake Summers, Jack Salakis, Connor Lucas, Jack Codmiller, and Jared Smith. Whilst for Bayswater, 3 to Aaron Coate, 2 to Hayden Schroeder, and singles to Joel Galvin, Craig O'Reilly, Wayne McInerney, Dave Eddy, Anthony Van Ruin, Ben White, David Villado, and Reece Schuth. Plenty of goal kickers for both sides, and Pete, just before hopefully we get a guess, what were your thoughts on this afternoon's game?
Oh, it was a fantastic game. I was a little disappointed in the standard at times. I thought both teams were sloppy with the way they moved the ball and their disposal, but in the end, I mean, when the pressure came on, particularly late in that final quarter, both teams showed that they could play very good, disciplined brand of footy. Bayswater took the game on and showed a bit of intent and looked really good when they did that, but Donny East had the composure to withstand it. They settled and were able to play some really good focused football in holding them out. So all in all, it was a really enjoyable day.
What about you, Brad? How did you think? Were you happy with the game this afternoon? I thought it was a fair game.
Oh yeah, the second half was terrific. I thought first half there were a lot of mistakes, a lot of basic skill errors in that first half. But certainly in the second half I thought Doncaster East really showed what they're capable of in that third term, and then obviously the comeback from Bayswater in the last quarter was very impressive.
For the first senior women's game, it's just about ready to take place as the unfurling of the flag for Bayswater in the inaugural season last year is being hoisted, and I'm sure they'll be keen to have another win this afternoon, and as they put their hands together, now they've got to go out there and play some serious games of football. Baz, it's over to you with some quick scores before we give our 3-2-1 votes and other awards for the afternoon.
Yes, and the final scores are coming through. Let's start with Division 1 in South Croydon and Doncaster. And in the end, it was a win to Doncaster. Doncaster, 18-14, 122, defeated South Croydon 17-11, 113. So a 9-point win to Doncaster there. Noble Park and Norwood, last score we had was Norwood 16-13, 109 to Noble Park for 11-35, so we'll have a final score for that shortly. The big thriller was out at Tarara Road today, Vermont of North Ringwood, and Vermont got over the line by 3 points. Vermont 14-8-92 have defeated North Ringwood 14-5-89. Blackburn were 32-point winners over Roval. Blackburn 14-13-97 to Roval, 9-11-65. And another thriller this afternoon out at East Ringwood Reserve. East Ringwood at Montrose, and in the end Montrose got over the line by 3 points. Montrose 15-8-98 have defeated East Ringwood 14-11-95. And finally in Division 1, Bournemouth 19-11-125 have defeated Knox 15-12-102. So a 23-point win to Bournemouth in that game.
All right, Baz, thanks for that. Let's quickly go through our 3 2s and 1s this afternoon. Peter Birds had to leave us now, and I've got his votes off him. 3 votes to Ben Searle, 2 to Brock McLean, and 1 to Jess Moore. For mine today, I've given my 3 today, Brad, to Brock McLean. I thought he was sensational right throughout the afternoon. Showed a lot of poise. And I thought his game was, and right throughout the day was quite good. 2 votes I've gone to Ben Searle. I think he was easily Bayswater's best player, 4-quarter performance off the wing, and my 1 vote goes to Jake Whitling.
Pretty similar to mine, really, as far as those votes go. In fact, the same 3 players I had in my votes. I gave 1 vote to Ben Searle. I thought he was Bayswater's best player today. Terrific performance. He always plays well in the radio games that we call, and he's probably one of the few 4-quarter performers. There weren't many players out there who played well across the whole game, but I thought Ben Searle was good early, and he just maintained that standard all through the day. In a losing side, I thought he deserved a vote. I gave Jake Whitling 2 votes. I thought he, especially in that second half, his run and carry and his ability to burst clear of the packs was both exciting but also really broke the game open. And then it's one thing to run like the wind, but then you've got to be able to finish with the footy when you do that. And his use of the ball today was terrific. Really used the footy well, set up a lot of play for his team, and on a few occasions he hit his teammates on the lead, and I thought he was terrific. So 2 votes to Jake Whitling, and I gave my 3 votes to Brock McLean. Just about everything he did today was quality. I mean, he looked like a player who's played at a higher level, and I suppose when you see someone who's played at a higher level, that's what you hope to see, is that they can kind of show why they did play at AFL level. And he looked like an AFL player, an ex-AFL player today. He used the ball well. His decision-making, ability to choose the right options. Then his execution was excellent, and of course he just won so much of the footy as well. So I thought he was best man on the ground in a game where it was quite hard for a lot of the day, it was hard to see where the votes were going to go. Yep. But it did start to present itself in that last quarter when the cream really rose to the top with Brock McLean and Jake Whitley in particular.
Let's go to our first guest, Dan. Who have we got on the boundary line?
Yeah, we've got Simon White from Doncaster East down here. He played a sensational game. Simon, how have you found the transition from AFL footy back to the local level?
It's a little bit of less commitment in terms of time-wise, but we've got a great bunch of guys. They've been really welcoming to me. I've obviously known a few of the boys previously, Merv's brother, Lee Murphy. Obviously got so that's it. So they've been really welcoming. I'm loving my time here. Good standard of footy, so really enjoying it.
What about, obviously, your game today? You played really well. That penetrating kick, you could hit a dime from 50 metres away.
Well, yeah, a couple of little dinky kicks in the last quarter, I like to forget. But, look, I think I started up forward in the first game. I was pretty quick to think they realised I was better back in 8 years for a reason. So I was quickly shuffled back down to the back line where I belong. And I've been there for such a long time. I enjoy setting up blokes behind the football. And the guys down there, we've got a bit of a strong line down there, so which a lot of back lines do. So I'm really enjoying it.
Must be great though that you're that versatile type that can go forward at the local level. You have played back for a long time though, but should they need you, you can go forward and I'm sure have an impact.
Yeah, look, everyone loves going forward and kicking a goal.
Being the hero?
Yeah, I'm no different. So, look, I said to Bucks when I first got down there, he said, where do you want to play? I said, look, I'll play wherever you need me. So if I need to go into the middle for a little bit, for a little stint, I'm happy to do that. I'm keen to go forward whenever I need to, but I'm pretty comfortable down there at the same time.
High intensity game today, and Bayswater came pretty hard in that last quarter. So for yourself down in the back line, it must have been pretty high pressure situation.
It was. Full credit to them. They play a really fast running game style. They use the ball really well. They put a lot of pressure on it. So we as backmen had to defend to an inch of our lives at the end. So they're obviously well coached and they're really fit. So I thought we stood up pretty well. Sammy Dogs had a really good start to the season. Jack Martin did a good job today. So we've got a lot of guys that are good defenders and they use the ball.
Let's head upstairs for some questions from the commentary box.
Good afternoon, Adam. It's Simon, I should say. It's Wayne Brasher here. Congratulations, a great win. You would have been really happy with the fact that they threw everything at you in that opening 10 minutes of the last quarter, but the squad showed enough poise to manage to arrest the momentum again and get a 10-point win.
Yeah, look, I think throughout the game it was pretty fiery. There was a really good contest throughout. When you're 4 goals down going into the last quarter, you got to throw everything away. You use the ball really well through the middle, so quickest way home. I was thrilled with the way that the mids won it inside. Led by Big Smithy in the ruck. I thought he was super today. Brock McLean obviously had a huge game. But I thought the backs worked really well as a tight unit. We're pretty organised down there, so we're building a pretty good team down there.
Simon, what's the big difference, and have you been really impressed with the standard of the Eastern Football League with regards to the quality of player that's actually playing in this competition?
I have, mate. I haven't been at all surprised. I've had a couple of mates play at Baldwin who I used to play with in Silviac and Ruffle, so I've been a bit of a local view of the EFL. I knew the standard of football. Obviously, I think coming down to Doncaster East, they're a team that really wants to push to the top division. I had a bit of a chat to the guys and keen to help them do that. So it'll take a couple of years to do that. But we'll just go 1 week at a time and put together a good season.
And for yourself, you said that your appreciation that not so much the less commitment. What does that mean in what terms? Is it just hours that you've got to prepare at the higher level compared to what you've got to do now?
Yeah, look, I think at times at AFL level you can over-review the game and over-preview the game, and you can do a lot of watching the team you're playing this week and the team you're playing that week. So it's pretty refreshing. But Buck still does that. We still do a bit of a team review on a Tuesday when we do a preview of the team coming up. So I was surprised with the professional makeup of the club and how they went about preparing for each week. I've moved into the workforce now. I've got other commitments that take a bit of my time. So they're also really comfortable with me. I need to go to when I've got to go away for work or whatever. They can do that. So they've been really good for me in terms of that.
Simon, just in finishing, is a career in coaching an option for you further down the line?
I don't know. Look, I really enjoy sort of that role in the back line, sort of setting people up and marshalling the troops a little bit. I don't know if I want to be a coach or I've always liked to stay in footy, but what level that is, whether it's in administration or whatever, I'll have to make that decision when it comes to it.
Well, Simon, thank you very much for coming out here and and having a bit of a chat with us. It was a big victory for Doncaster East. It was a big game for both sides, and you've walked away with a 10-point victory and a 2-1 record.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me, guys.
There you have it. We've got there we had Simon White, new recruit from the AFL to the Eastern Football League, one of many ex-AFL players that have Brad that have joined our ranks this year, and
that's right.
And they've definitely lifted the standard of football.
No question about that, Brash. No doubt.
Just in finishing, Brad, with the votes, our winner this afternoon goes to Brock McLean, I believe, with 8 votes.
Does indeed. Brock McLean polled 8 votes. He got 3s from both you and me, and 2 votes from Frosty. Ben Searle polled 6 votes. He got votes from all 3 of us, and Jake Whitling, he polled 3 votes. So
1183
that was our top 3: McLean, Searle, and Whitling. Jess Moore, the only other player to poll a vote there.
Couple of other ones we're going to talk about. The Tobin brothers play of the day. I reckon in the second quarter, the sidestep of Michael Stephen running onto the half-forward line where he kicked the long bomb.
It's not a player of the day, Brash. It's the Trojan workhorse player of the day. So don't narrow it down just to one piece of play. No, your apology is accepted. There's no doubt about that.
Tobin brothers player of the day. Well, I would then go with Ben Searle.
Well, hang on, isn't the player of the day the guy who polls the most votes?
Tobin Brothers Player of the Day is the best player on the ground, which has been awarded to Brock McLean today, with his 8 votes. I think with a sterling second half effort, which has been well recognised, being around the grounds and down in the rooms, I think is quite serviceable to probably go to Jake Whitling today.
Okay. All right, yeah, we can.
And he lost his shirt, so we can give him a toolkit to put it all back together again. How about that?
Yeah. Well, BWS, it's over to you. It's been a fantastic afternoon here, and all those big scores coming up with Barry in a minute.
Yeah, and look, it's been a great day out here. It's been carpet for the players to play on 2 big sides in Division 2. A great effort by the whole calling team, brilliantly hosted by yourself, Brasher, all day. Thank you very much for that. It's always great to have Brad Henderson riding shotgun in the co-commentator's position as well. And 2 weeks in a row, Brad, and we got to see a good game today, didn't we?
We did indeed. Great game. Terrific game in great conditions to watch it in as well. So more of that throughout the season. Hopefully we'll continue getting some pretty close games.
Looking forward to your dulcet tones on EFL Sunday tomorrow morning also, along with Peter Baird and Gavin Casey also. We've got 4 around the ground reporters this afternoon, so we do need to cut ties out here at Bayswater Oval. Thanks very much to Dan Sensick and Brett Beston, who had the best spot in the house on the boundary line today, and we had great conversations with the coaches right throughout and interviews afterwards, especially that one with Dan there with Simon White. That was fantastic to hear. Bruce Prest from the Loft Productions. Doesn't happen unless Bruce is on his game, and he has certainly been that all afternoon. And of course Leroy Green, the man behind the camera, is the best in the business, LKLM Media. He did it tough early and he brought it home with aplomb, there's no doubt about that. Barry Cotts, the master of the score centre, Mr. Around the Grounds of the Eastern Football League. He's taking over from me right now, Baz, and I know that you've got plenty of scores to go through. And of course we've got Around the Grounds reporters in Tim Fitzsimons, Matt Fody, Ray Baird and Davis Harrigan. So looking forward to the next 45 minutes with you, mate, and hearing about all those important scores. We'll kick back and enjoy watching the girls play out here at the moment as well, which is fantastic to see. Over to you, Baz.
Thanks very much, BWS. As Barry Cosby here in the Score Centre with EFL Game Day post-match. Yes, and the women's game is on at the moment, and currently the score is Bayswater 117 to Doncaster East, no score. All right, let's start off with some scores. We'll start from the top again, Division 1, and we'll start off with South Croydon and Doncaster, and it was Doncaster 18-14, 122, defending South Croydon 17-11, 113. Noble Park and Norwood, and it was a big win to Norwood in the end. Norwood 22-15, 147. They've defeated Noble Park 7-14, 56. Thriller out at Tarara Road this afternoon at Vermont. Vermont and North Ringwood. And the home team got up to win by 3 points. Vermont 14-8-92 to North Ringwood 14-5-18. Roval and Blackburn, it was a big 32-point win to Blackburn out there at Roval. Blackburn 14-13-97 have defeated Roval 9-11-65. East Ringwood and Montrose, another thriller out of East Ringwood this afternoon, and in the end it's Montrose overrun to the tune of 3 points. Montrose 15-8-98 have defeated East Ringwood 14-11-95. And the last game in Division 1 was the big game, Gorman versus Knox. Gorman came away to win that game by 23 points. Gorman 19-11-125 to Knox 15-12-102. And to Division 2 and our radio game out here at Bayswater this afternoon saw Doncaster East win by 10 points. Doncaster East 15-8-98 have defeated Bayswater 13-10-8. Moorpark and Upper Ferntree Gully. Upper Ferntree Gully 12-11-83 to Moorparks 4-17-41. Mulgrave and Wanturna South. Wanturna South 17-11-113 to Mulgrave 7-9-51. Mitcham and Lilydale, and it was a win to Lilydale. Lilydale 16-13-109 to Mitcham 7-47. Turning to Division 3. Waverley Blues and Ringwood. Ringwood 17-13-115. Beaten Waverley Blues 17-52. Boronia were 8-point winners over Scoresby this afternoon. Boronia 10-9-69 to Scoresby 8-13-61. Still waiting on the final score. Churnside Park and South Belgrave. Heathmont are winners today again. Heathmont 14-11-95 to Warrandyte 8-8-56. And 29-point winners were Templestowe. Templestowe 15-9-99 to Donvale 11-4-70. Turning our attention to Division 4. And Glenwaverley Hawks 15-12-102 have defeated Forest Hill 10-12-72. Surrey Park and Whitehorse Pioneers. Pioneers came away with the chocolates this afternoon. Excuse me, Whitehorse 15-27-117 to Surrey Park 10-9-69. Sylvan and Coldstream 19-9-23 to Sylvan 11-7-76. Now some other games are not played today because they will be played this evening. Firstly, there's going to be a night game in Division 4, and that's between Fair Park and East Burwood, so they'll be playing tonight as well, and also there's another game on in Division 2. I'll get to that very shortly, about whose team is playing. So there you have it, Divisions 1 through to 4, and just repeating, it was a draw between St Kilda and GWS this afternoon, 73 points apiece out there at Stadium, so a draw, St Kilda and GWS. And just seeing if we've got any on the line at the moment.
Very close, Barry. Yes. We're trying to get Matt Fodia on the line at the moment, who was out at the game between Mitcham and Lilydale this afternoon. Yes. So looking forward to Matt's report. You gave us basically a heart attack earlier on in the game, saying that Mitcham was well in front of Lilydale. But of course, Lilydale have come home with the chocolates, Barry. And
yes, that's right. Final score was 16-13-109 Lilydale to Mitcham, 7-5-47. Matt Fodia is on the line. He saw that game today, so it's a very good evening to Matt. You there, Matt?
I'm there, Barry. How are you, mate?
Not bad. Seems like a relatively interesting game this afternoon.
Well, it was relatively interesting early on when Lilydale kicked the first goal within 10 seconds, Barry.
Yep.
Straight out of the centre, mixing it down to Horsley, straight on to Bernstein. Kicked his first of the day. He ended up with 4 for the afternoon, as did Lachlan Koga for the day. They pretty much held Mitcham at arm's length the whole day. Mitcham had four late goals in the second quarter. We quarterbacked to 9 points at half time, but other than that, Lilydale piled on 11 goals to 3 in the second half. And Mitcham are young, they just don't have enough mature bodies around the coalface in the contested footy at the moment for my Barry.
And how did the second half play out?
The second half, like I said, 11 goals to 3 for Lilydale there. Lockie Koga kicking 3 in the second half. Bernstein 2 in the early stage of the third quarter. Tory Clark Henry got a couple on the scoreboard. It was just Lurdale's run and just their mature bodies. They've had 2 or 3 years now, all their players, to mature up, to get used to the division, to get a bit more strength in them, and they just back themselves to run and carry. And Ben Eagles side looks like they're playing some pretty good footy at the moment.
And who are the drivers for Lilydale today?
So the better players, I think Brian Mitchell was up there. He did really well. Lockie Wilson, the skipper, was ducking in and out quite well on the wing. Corey Bernstein was lively up forward. Just all their smalls up forward. Sorry, Clive Pender was very good. They're just quick from Lurdale at the moment. They've got a lot of players who are that sort of middle to shorter height. Very good, agile, too quick, too strong today.
Do you reckon that they're a better side than last year, that they have improved, Matt?
Yeah, they've definitely improved. They're probably just lacking that final sort of coat of polish that you might see from Division 1 clubs. Obviously, they can't go up this year, so it won't problem them too much. And their core age is probably quite young, but compared to Mitchum's age, they're probably similar ages, but a lot more experience than the Lildale players. A lot of them have played around 50% of games, so they've got that confidence. But there's just sometimes their skills let them down, maybe with a rough kick or just a poor final delivery inside 50, and a couple of their forwards probably need to kick straight. But that's where Lockie Cody's quite key for me. He's a beautiful kick at the footy. Morrison took good marks and missed a couple early on, but came into it at the end. But yeah, I think if they can really polish up their skills and start finding their ball users. Ryan Harvey didn't play today, so that's a big in to come back. Patrick Clever and Gareth Healy played well, but not quite at their best. So their better ball users weren't at their best today, and they still were a class above Mitchell.
Well, it looks like they'll be staying on top of the table in Division 2, the Lilydale Football Club. They've started the season off extremely well, 3 wins from 3 games now. And, well, I think a side that made the finals last year are certainly going to be taking pretty big notice of the Lilydale Football Club.
Definitely would take notice of them as well. Mitchum, on the other hand, I don't know whether they're going to be sold on that many people this year. They've got some talent in there. Jake Ferenczi's obviously a star, but he was just too isolated. They've got to find other avenues to go other than him. He kicked 2 today, but he often has 2 or 3 on him. In a side that Lildale doesn't really have a major key defender, that's probably their one downfall. Bo Mitchum has to drop back a lot, which he does quite well, but if they can find a key defender, they'd be right up there. But that's just the difference. Mitchum only have Ferenczi. They can drop a couple of numbers in front of him. A side like Doncaster East, who have 2 or 3 options inside forward 50, might just find them out a little bit at the back.
Lilydale take on Park Orchards next week at the LS, so a couple of big games coming up for them actually, Lilydale. Then they travel out to Wanturna South and play out there, and then take on Murrelbach back at home, then Upper Fenchurch Gully. We know how even Division 2 football is, so their challenges continue to come, and Mitchum are basically playing the same 4 sides, but in a roundabout way over the next month of football. How close do you see it being before Mitchum can get their first win on the board?
Well, out of those 4 sides, I don't know. Look, when they literally attempted that, it stayed with Lillard a bit. It's just having that ability to stay with them the whole game. They showed spurt in the second quarter and the start of the third. But I don't know. They could be one of those teams that kicked it out to me, mate. They could be 0-7 here. And for Lildale, like I said, they've got a couple of really good sides coming up. They've had Bayswater obviously had an off day last week, and they made them pay, but they've got a couple weeks. So both sides will definitely find out where they are. Mitchum, I'm feeling they might be 0-7, and Lildale, if they can be 5-2, they'd be very happy with that.
And after that, they do take on the Mulgrave Football Club, so it might be a chance for them to get up and about at that stage, mate. It's always a nice way to spend an afternoon out at the Mitchum Oval down there at Walker Park, and I'm sure you enjoyed that, and a great job with your after-game report